You'll notice at JetMagic we have two different kinds of FMS. This is the 135 with the universal FMS, which is the one we've got here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the flight plan. This evening we're going from Cork, which is E-I-C-K, and we're going to Edinburgh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Cork as the start point, and then I'm going to delete the flight plan, and then I'm going to insert another flight plan. And the way that I do that is I come up onto this page here, which lists all the routes that we fly, or some of them anyway, and you can see number 7 is Cork to Edinburgh. So what I do is I press number 7, press enter, and if we wait just a moment, we can press previous. You can see there are 3 pages of 8, so we've come back from the very beginning, and we come back and we find that it goes from Cork to the Cork VOR, which is unlikely, so we can delete that. And then it takes us out via Dublin and a place called Gelkey, and then we cross over to Scotland, and it's even got the arrival for Edinburgh already in there, so that's all set. So that's the flight plan entered. The next thing we do with the FMS is they don't talk to each other. This one is entered completely independently of John's FMS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross-fill to John's side, so I can do that by pressing flight plan and then menu, and then I can press cross-fill flight plan, and it will suck it from FMS1, and here it comes. And it's coming across. And if I go back to the first page of mine, you'll see eventually that he's got the same flight plan. Abagu, Gerga, Dublin, and we can scroll through. And in just a minute we'll check that with the printed flight plan that John's got. Next thing we can do is we can go to the fuel page, and we can go to the first. You can see it's 2 of 5. We can go to the first of 5 pages, and what we can do here is we can enter the aeroplane weight. So we've got the basic weight of the aeroplane, which is 11.7 tons. We know we've got 37 passengers, I think, looking at John's, yeah, 37, and they weigh 2968 because John's done that using his calculator. And we know that we have 400 and how much? 442 in the cargo, and we know that we've got the fuel on board. Just changing, this is the multifunction display, which is on the fuel page. You can see that all right? Yep. And you can see the total fuel is 2730. It's split 1360 in the left tank and 1370 in the right tank. We've also got that information on the ICAS fuel quantity, but it's not added up. So just to make it simple for us, we use the MFD, and we can put 2730, enter, and we know that we're going to take off weighing 17.8 tons. I need to cross-fill that to John's side again, so previous, menu, and cross-fill, and then we'll both have all the same information. And that's a quick introduction to the FMS. As we go along, you'll see us use some of the other functions once we're airborne. So just talking about the cockpit quickly, it's a dark cockpit philosophy that Embraer have adopted. So when you look in the roof at the moment, you'll see, for example, that on the air conditioning and pneumatic panel, which is this one here, we've got some white lights. The reason for that is, whilst we're sat on the ground here, we don't need any of that on. What we're going to do is we're going to put the APU bleed on, which means that we're going to have air being taken from the auxiliary power unit, and I'm going to open the cross bleed so that I can feed air conditioning air, which you can hear just coming on now, into the cabin. And once we get underway and start the engines, we'll switch all these switches so that they're dark, and we'll end up with a dark roof to the aeroplane. If we have any malfunctions, they'll be identified to us by one of the lights coming on, and I'll show you some of the lights now. So for example, you can see if we have a leak in a bleed, it comes on red. What else can we see? That's really all you can see, unfortunately. So that's all the, oh, and you can see when we go into icing and the automatic anti-icing system comes on, it gives us a caption to say that it's open, so that we're actually getting de-icing for both the engines and for the airframe. Dropping down, we have 2 main cathode ray tubes. One on the left we call the primary flight display. You'll notice that on the Embraer 135 it differs from the Embraer 145. This little cyan thing you can see here is the flight director. At the moment it's coupled to John's side because he's going to be flying the flight to Edinburgh, and it's showing us that we want to climb out with 14 degrees nose up. Below it we've got an ordinary compass with a course bar, which at the moment is set for the ILS here at Cork, the inbound course 347. And you can see behind there are two needles, a blue needle and a white needle, and at the moment they're both pointing to the ADF, to the automatic direction finder, which is tuned to the non-directional beacon here at Cork, which is Oscar Bravo, which is 362 for the outer marker for runway 35, which is what we've just landed on. The next cathode ray tube we call a multifunction display. If I expand the scale just a little bit, you can see that we get lots and lots of information on here. A green is a navigational aid, so I don't know, this is Connaught perhaps, this is Shannon, this is Kerry, the non-directional beacon. A non-directional beacon circular, a triangular one like this is a VOR. Anything in blue is an airfield, so EIWF, for example, is Waterford, EICK is where we are here at Cork, EIKY is Kerry, and EINN is Shannon, which is our primary alternate for Cork. And then this white line is the route that we're hoping to fly. Abagu is the first waypoint that we're going to. If you look at the flight plan here, you'll see that Abagu is our first waypoint in the flight plan. So that's where we're going, and then from there it's to Gerga, and then Dublin, and then out towards the Mull of Kintyre. On this multifunction display we get lots of good information. Mind your knees, John. And you can see this bottom bit, it's divided into two. So on this page we've got fuel. It shows, as I said earlier, the total fuel divided by 2, the amount that we've used since we reset it, and the temperature of the fuel. At the bottom it's got the speeds that we're going to be flying for takeoff. So this is V1, rotate speed, safety speed, and the speed that we'll do our final segment at. And we've just got somebody here for some paperwork. 37.
That's correct.
Brilliant. And was that the same as I put in here? 17,839. No, I didn't. So we'll call it 85, we'll call it 527. And thank you very much indeed.
Okay. Cheers.
This is our final segment speed, and this is the speed where we'll take the flaps in, which is V2 plus 15. Jumping back down to the multifunction display, we've got, you can possibly just see on the left here, SIS. So that tells us all the systems that we can see on the airplane. The takeoff page is a very useful page. It shows us the status of the doors, for example. It also shows us the level of oil that we have, and it shows us what engine power setting we have for takeoff. So we're using a reduced thrust takeoff because we're quite light. John's put in the reference takeoff temperature as 10, and because there's no visual moisture and we don't need the reference RTI on it.
Okay, I have our copy here.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thanks very much indeed.
See you later.
Bye. John, can I give you that?
Close up, 37.
37. Thanks, Sinead.
Thank you.
And we'll do the forward-standing engines checklist, please. I walked round it, but all looks okay.
Fuel minimum required is 2,300.
So this will be check 2720, so we've got more than we require.
Roger, altimeter is 1006, fuel elevation 502.
So we've got 1006 set here, and we're reading 450. It looks like it's about to go up. And the heading, I've got 347, 347, 347. We've got a standby here, which gives 347 also.
Let's check my side, thanks. The AHARS.
It's set.
Flight guidance.
It's your go.
That's a couple on my side, and heading takeoff. Checked. The FMS.
Do you want to run through it?
Yep. Okay, Abagu,
Check.
Gerga,
Check.
Dublin,
Check.
Gelki,
Check.
Aesop,
Check.
Blacka, and the arrival and Edward.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our JetMagic service. In preparation for takeoff, please check that your seatbelt is securely fastened.
Roger, the FMS is checked, thanks. Takeoff brief.
Fully upright position with the armrest down.
V1.
Your hand baggage should be stowed in the overhead
After
bin or placed on the
V1,
seat in front of you. Please
aircraft
observe our
emergency
no
engine
smoking
failure, no
policy.
actions
No
below
smoking
400
signs
except to get
duration of
the
the flight.
gear up, silence any
The
warning
toilet in
horns.
this aircraft is
After
fitted with a
400 we'll
smoke
climb
alarm
straight
which will
up to
activate if you smoke there.
MSA,
This is an offence
2000,
to
whichever is the
terrorism.
highest.
If you are
And
carrying a
we'll
mobile
get
phone,
the
it
flaps
must be
up.
switched off now.
If we require an immediate reland, we deem an immediate reland necessary, let's plan on a left downwind or right downwind as per the tower visual back to runway 35. Other than that, any other issues, we'll go get ourselves into a hole somewhere, get the QRH out, resolve any issues, come up with a game plan, we'll talk to the girls, let them know what we're going to do and proceed accordingly. Otherwise, it'll be a normal departure, 2,000 feet, and more than likely we'll get direct Dublin, so we'll anticipate that. So 2,000 and a right turn towards Dublin. Flat 9, all takeoff 1, dry runway. Any questions?
No questions.
Alright,
In the
take
unlikely
off
event
briefing,
of a
let's
sudden
check.
loss of cabin pressure,
Seatbelt sign
any
is
regional
going on.
oxygen will be
Just
rolled
start checks
automatically
are
into
complete,
your
I'll call
face.
for the start.
Should this happen, pull the mask down fully, cover your mouth and nose with it.
Cork ground, evening JetMagic, JetMagic 84 uniform is stand for information Juliet, request start.
Magic 84 Echo, clear to start on the QNH of 1007 ATC.
Roger, start approved, and we've noted the change in the call sign 84 Echo, and affirmative, we can take ATC now.
84 Echo is cleared Cork to Edinburgh, flight plan route via Dublin, the flight level 900 to request level change and squawk 1417.
Roger, Cork, Edinburgh, flight plan route via Dublin, climb flight level 90 initially, request level change 1417 on the squawk JetMagic 84 Echo.
So that was a clearance to Dublin. So
84 Echo, readback is correct and report ready for departure.
Lookout 84 Echo.
So I can put 4 in both of these because dub is the 4th point and press enter. 1417 and we're cleared to flight level 90. This is the autopilot altitude select.
2 return 5.
So that's all understood.
2 renew 55.
That's received. Checked. Parking brake is set. Is in op. Is on. They're both on Charlie. Checked. Cockpit to ground, hello. Oh, it's your go, I'm sorry.
Cockpit to ground. Gonna start number 2.
Yeah, clear 2.
There we go. Okay, starting 2.
Check.
And 2.
Check. All pressure's rising.
Ignition.
The ignition's come on. And now we're waiting to see if there's fuel flow. Sorry, John. And here's the fuel flow, and then you can see it catches fire. This is the interturbine temperature, which is rising, which means that there's hot gas in the engine. The next thing, it should be self-sustaining, so the ignition should go off. Ignition's off.
2, 4, 6. Normal start.
Checked. Cancel the caution.
Cockpit to ground when like start number 1.
Yeah, clear 1.
Here we go. And 2.
Check. Here's the oil pressure again. This is the N2, which is a little bit of the engine, not the fan at the front.
Fuel flow. There's the light off.
Ignition's off.
2, 4, 6. Normal start.
Thanks, Graham. That's 2 good starts. You can disconnect everything. We'll see you on the right-hand side.
Okay, clear, thanks.
You're going to see some of these MFD pages now. After start checks, please, John.
Electrical.
Is check. So this is the electrical page. We check that everything's in normal parameters, which it looks as though it is, and we put the shed buses to auto. More on that maybe later.
APU.
This is the APU on-off button, so we can just push that, and you'll see here the APU starts to wind down. Is off.
FedEx, I'll reset and alternate. Set. Hydraulics are selected auto.
Let's check. This is the hydraulic page, and when John switches the electric pumps to auto, the mechanical pumps should maintain, so the pressure shouldn't change, and the pumps, these are electrical pumps only, shouldn't come on, and they stay off, so that looks sensible.
Ice protection is selected auto.
Checked.
Windshield heat is selected off.
Checked.
And the aircon is black midnight.
checked.
And flight controls. I will stand by with those.
Yeah, check. I'll just do that.
And the trims are 008 for the takeoff. After start checks complete, I'll call for the taxi.
That's checked. The rudder's checked also.
JetMagic 84 Echo, stand for ready taxi.
JetMagic 84 Echo, taxi with the left onto 25, hold short 1735.
Roger, onto left turn now onto 25 and hold short 1735, JetMagic 84 Echo.
So we're clear on the left.
Clear on the right side.
Parking brakes off. Clear. It's Aaron. Whenever you're ready, your brakes.
Brakes are good.
And the taxi checks, please.
Roger, brakes.
Are checked.
Flaps 9.
Are checked.
Okay, the departure, the transponder, and the FMS. So the departure will be straight ahead 2000 direct Dublin. Level 90 is checked. The transponder is 1417. That's set, and the FMS mode is selected my side.
That's checked.
Roger. The flight director is heading takeoff my side.
Checked.
Briefing review. There's no amendments unless you've got any questions.
No. Accelerate at 900 and we'll come back and land here.
Speeds are set.
Checked.
Brake temps are checked, and the cabin report is to go.
That's checked. So on this page, Jon, we've got the hydraulic system, which shows, amongst other things, the brake temperatures. So as we taxi out, if we're a bit firm on the brakes, it's got excellent performance, this aeroplane, but the brakes warm up quite quickly.
JetMagic 84 Echo, backtrack line up 35 now.
Roger, backtrack line up runway 35, JetMagic 84 Echo.
84 Echo, contact tower frequency 193.
Tower 193, thanks. Cork Tower, JetMagic 84 Echo is with you on the taxi runway 35.
Magic 84 Echo, Roger, sir, backtrack line up runway 35.
Backtrack line up runway 35, JetMagic 84 Echo.
Sorry, 715 right, taxiway Charlie, parking stand number 5.
Cleared the backtrack line.
Charlie 5, 715.
You're clear on the right side.
Check. Cleared on the left as well. Sorry, where were we?
One item open on the taxi checks, that's the cabin report.
Checked. I'll tell them anyway.
JetMagic 84 Echo on turn round is cleared for takeoff runway 35, right turn out on track overhead Dublin. The surface wind 290 degrees, 17 knots with a max of 28.
Roger, on the turnaround, cleared for takeoff runway 35 and direct to Dublin, JetMagic 84 Echo.
Hi, Sinead.
Hello, cabin secure for takeoff.
Thanks very much indeed. See you in a minute. Sinead, Sonia, seats for takeoff, please.
Taxi checks are complete. Line
Checked
checks
on
to
the lineup
go.
checks. I told them to sit down for takeoff.
Okay, the radar.
Can go to Wooks.
ICAS.
ICAS is checked.
Okay, the TCAS is selected. Tara 2 to my side, and I'm on 12 above. Takeoff configuration, I will check.
Takeoff. Okay.
The takeoff clearance is
Received.
lineup checks are complete.
Check. Your controls, your brakes.
Nice, Scott. And set thrust whenever you get a chance.
Here we go. So we've got TCAS on John's side.
Hotel, good afternoon, JetMagic 80.
Which is the traffic collision avoidance system. And we've got fuel on my side. And we're just about to go. Happy?
Continue the approach traffic through.
So if you watch here,
Continuing JetMagic 8030.
we've got alternate takeoff one, which is reduced thrust, and it's showing us with this ATTCS that it's going to power up if the engine fails, which is a good thing. And thrust is set. 80.
Check.
V1, rotate, V2.
Gear up, please.
Gears in transit.
Speed.
IS engaged.
X.
JetMagic 8030, clear to land runway 35, surface wind 290 degrees 16 knots, max 28.
Full land 35, JetMagic 8030.
Climb thrust, please, and a heading of about 050 initially, please.
Climb thrust and 050. I'll insert direct to dub for you.
Sure.
JetMagic 84 Echo, contact Shannon 124.7. Bye bye.
124.7, JetMagic 84 Echo. Bye bye.
And speed 180 initially. Thanks, Nate.
Good evening, Shannon. It's the JetMagic 84 Echo with you. We're passing 3,700 feet, climbing flight level 90, direct Dublin, Squawk 1417.
JetMagic 84 Echo is radar identified, climb maintain flight level 230.
Climb maintain 230, JetMagic 84 Echo.
Report, you have now, we cleared now flight level 270.
Flaps travelling. Recleared 270, JetMagic 23 Echo.
If you could do direct Dublin one more time, then please. Thanks, sorry about that.
464, flight
Direct to Dublin.
Lovely, select LNAV.
Aaron 464, good day to you,
LNAV's
identified.
arm captured.
And select autopilot.
November 138, Mike, call Shannon 132,
Autopilot
decimal 15,
and yaw damper
goodbye.
both on.
Okay, autopilot, yaw damper is
32,
on, LNAV's engaged.
decimal 15,
Selecting
138,
vertical
Mike.
Sorry, Ewan, I should say. Pack 2 valve close sometimes comes on takeoff. It's a normal thing with the airplane. Because it's blue on the ICAS, it means that it's just advisory. So in order to clear it, we just turn Pack 2 off, and then we turn Pack 2 back on again.
Select standard.
You press the standard button down here, and that brings 1013 onto the altimeter.
And we'll have the climb checks whenever you get a chance, please.
And here they come. And the climb checks say we have silent climb checks, so I don't actually read anything out. But what I'm looking for is that the gear and the flaps, which are here, landing gear and flaps are all at 0. The thrust rating, you might have noticed me press the climb thrust button. We have 4 thrust ratings that we can select using buttons, and we have Alt TO1, which we select by pressing this button in the roof before start, which is a derated thrust for takeoff. In the climb, we press climb thrust, and in the cruise, we press cruise thrust. They try and keep it simple for us. So we check the thrust rating's climb, which it is. Ice protection's up in the roof here. It just goes on auto when we leave it on auto, and then if we go into ice, as you saw last night, it will come on and protect the airframe and the engines. The windshield heat, these buttons here, this is all the de-icing system up here. We leave them off now until we get into ice or until we start our descent. In both those cases we switch them on. The cabin signal, we cycle the chimes by turning the no smoking signs off, then on, and that tells the ladies at the back that they can go about their business. We check the air conditioning and pressurization. What this means is this is the air conditioning and pressurization panel. We should have all these buttons in, so it's black. This should be at midnight, at 12 o'clock, and normally, this is the temperature controller for the cabin. We'd put this round to where it says C for the cabin attendant so they could adjust the temperature in the back. Unfortunately, that facility isn't available to us today, so we'll just leave it as it is. We can then come down here, and you'll see this is the pressurization part of the ICAS, and it tells us the cabin altitude. So here we are at 10,500 feet, and the cabin's still only at 400 feet. That's because we've got 4.6 pounds per square inch difference between the inside of the cabin and the outside of the cabin, and the cabin's being pumped up with air from the engines, which is good, which keeps us in a livable environment. And below it tells us what the cabin rate's climbing at. So at the moment it's climbing at 350 feet per minute. When we start our descent into Edinburgh, you'll see it goes down as well. I hope. Otherwise it's a problem. The APU is the next check. This is the APU here. It tells us that it's off. Sensibly put amongst all the rest of the pressurization information. Now why is that? And then finally we check the altimeters. You've probably seen the altimeters. We've set standard here. We set standard on the standby altimeter, and John set it on his, and I'll say to him it's 1013.
Roger, and we're passing through level 11, correction, 11.
2038, turn left 5
now.
degrees, climb
Exactly.
240.
And it's 60 behind on the standby.
Left turn 5, flight level 240.
And that's the climb checks completed.
now we're in the climb up to our pre-selected altitude of flight level 270. Currently we're just climbing out of 17,000 feet, 17,600 feet.
Good evening again.
Our rate of climb is actually
1,800
1,800 feet a minute, even though I've got a pre-select of 1,900 feet per minute, and this is primarily controlled from my flight guidance system up here, and I use vertical speed to control my actual airspeed, which is just another way of achieving the same objective. Right now my target airspeed is 280, which is a good compromise between forward airspeed and also rate of climb. This is the attitude indicator. Up here is quite an important function. It tells me what function the flight guidance system is working in. So for example, right now I'm on a heading selection, so ATC has issued me a heading of 030. Ordinarily we will be in what we call LNAV, where we're using our own navigation to fly to a fix, for example Dublin. The VS means that I'm in vertical speed mode. In other words, I'm controlling the aircraft pitch using vertical speed. AP and YD mean that the autopilot and the yaw damper are on at this time. Other useful information down here is the compass rose, which tells me what direction I'm going. This is my course deviation indicator, which tells me my position relative to my chosen fix, switching left of the selected course. Other nice information that I have is the fix that is currently selected, the distance to the fix. This information here is the winds aloft that we're experiencing right now, which means that, for example, we're experiencing a left quartering tailwind from the left here at 23 knots. So that's quite useful information for us. All the rest of it is just various information as to the status of the navigation selections, and then down here is our actual ground speed, which is 390 knots at the moment. So basically the PFD tells me everything in relation to the aircraft pitch and bank and all of the most important functions of the airplane. And then to the left we have the multifunction display, which for example, my TCAS is now armed, and it's telling me that I'm looking out at a range of 12 miles. And if we get any traffic, I'll make sure I show it to you. It's quite interesting to see all the different airplanes showing up on the TCAS. And up here, if we had any weather, for example, we would have precipitation and show us where the weather is, so we can route around it. And Nick was going to explain the compass rose, which is the really complicated stuff.
I wasn't gonna. All I was gonna say is the only thing that John didn't say was we can actually change this if we want to. So at the moment, I've changed over to conventional navigation, whereas John's got lateral navigation. And using this course button up here, I can turn it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the inbound course for Edinburgh. We're expecting runway 24. And nav direct Dublin, JetMagic 84 Echo.
It's
132.15, JetMagic 84 Echo. Bye bye.
Okay, so now ATC have told us to go directly to Dublin rather than fly a heading, so I'll select that here on the FMS. And you'll see that the course bar centers, and if I press the LNAV function, the airplane now, rather than flying in heading mode, is now flying in navigation mode, so it tracks automatically to Dublin. Another thing that I didn't point out here, and you'll see later on,
it's the JetMagic 84 Echo with you. We're turning right direct Dublin, climbing flight level 270. Thanks very much, direct Gelki, JetMagic 84 Echo. Sure, flight planned at 270 and it looks okay up here, so we'll stay at that, I think. JetMagic 84 Echo. You happy at 27?
Yep.
Direct.
There's one very nice feature, Jan, that I like about this airplane, and that is the what we call a trend vector. And this is what it looks like. It's like a varying magenta line, and what it does is you can see it on the speed right now. What it does is it tells me, it predicts based on the current flight path what my airspeed is going to be in, say, 10 seconds, and this is a very useful feature in a jet, especially on the approach, where we can monitor the airspeed and also anticipate large speed changes and make corrections before they actually happen. So it's a very, very nice feature that normal airplanes that don't have FMSs on board don't have, and it's a very useful feature.
One to go.
That's checked. So I'm reducing my rate of climb now as we approach our desired altitude, and that will just make the level off nice and smooth.
This is the autopilot capturing the altitude. So you can see it's gone from white with the vertical speed symbol next to it to azure green as it captures. And John's going to tell you about the cruise thrust now. I was telling you in the climb that we have these 4 thrust settings, and you can see just up here at the moment we're in climb.
Yeah, right now what I'll do is just select cruise mode, and you'll see it come up on the iCast here. What it does is it just selects a maximum cruise thrust setting, and it will not allow me to exceed that. So in other words, 84.8 N1 is my maximum cruise setting for this altitude and range of temperatures. So that essentially limits me to the amount I can't increase the stresses on the engine beyond what the computers will allow me to. Ordinarily, this will allow me to accelerate beyond my desired cruise speed, so I'll monitor my speed as I get close to my desired cruising speed, and I'll simply just pull back on the throttles just a little bit just to maintain my desired cruise, which in this case will be 310 knots indicated.
And you can see on the speed vector there's a red line. That's the speed that we can't exceed. So on the ERJ145 we're limited to 0.78 Mach or 320 knots. And for those of you studying your ATPL at home, you'll know that as you get higher, so your indicated airspeed comes down and your Mach number gets higher. So you can see already that we can't achieve 320 knots, but we can just achieve 0.78 Mach. Go for it.
This is the speed vector I was talking about, and it's very nice because it tells me how fast I'm approaching my desired cruise speed. Right now it's a very nice, smooth, slow acceleration to my desired cruise, so therefore I know that when I reach my desired cruise, the amount of power that I'll take off will be commensurate with the rate of change of speed. So it even though it's a fairly innocuous looking thing, it actually tells you an awful lot about what the airplane is doing.
What we're doing on here, this is the, I think we spoke about it last night, the radio management unit is what this little box is called. And there are a number of ways that we can change frequency. You'll probably already have seen me. You can change the frequencies by using the tune knob down here. If I want to change the ATC, or more importantly, let's say the TCAS, this is the TCAS display on number 1, which I haven't got because I'm pilot monitoring today. I can change the range by highlighting it and then adjusting the range. And I can adjust whether we look above or below. If we look above, it looks 2,500 feet below to 7,000 feet above. So at the moment, John's got it above, so it'll show him any traffic passing 7,000 feet over the top of us. And he's put it to normal now, and normal means that it'll give us 2,500 feet above to 2,500 feet below. This is our VOR here. So I can adjust, in fact we've got 2 VORs on the airplane. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this frequency here, 108.9, which is the ILS for runway 24 in Edinburgh. And I'll set Taller as well, 1138, which is on the arrival. And then on board we've got one automatic direction finder. And so I can change the frequency by dialing in this case, 341, which is the EDN. And what we tend to do is we tend to use this box 1 for all our radio calls to air traffic, and box 2 is used for all administration. So at the moment we've got 1215, which is the international distress frequency on VHF, and we've got the ATIS for Edinburgh above it. And in fact John's just tuned the ATIS, the Edinburgh ATIS. If you take box 1, I'll get it. And all that talk, it was wrong, it's runway 06. Runway 06. In order to save me reaching all the way over to John's side, I can press 1-2, and then I can change John's frequencies. If you look, this radio is now the same as John's. It's all in yellow to show me that I'm using his. And I can change it back to 1215 and switch the squelch off. And it's 06, the wind 080 at 5 knots, 11 kilometers in light rain, scattered at 2,200, broken at 2,800, broken at 4,009, 8, and the QNH 993. It's wet in all thirds. This is showing FMS information now, or lateral nav, or some people like to call it long range nav. I'm going to press this button here, which is going to take me into conventional navigation, and I'm going to set the inbound course. .064.
That's check. Thanks, Nick. And on my side, I've re-engaged heading mode, so even though I'm tracking still towards Gelke, I'm actually in heading mode, and this way I can select my radio navigation and, like Nick, put in my final approach course without the airplane doing anything strange to me. Okay, 064 is set.
That's checked.
Nick checks my side, and I go back to FMS mode, make sure I'm still on course, select the LNAV function again, and it recaptures the LNAV, and right now we're tracking back to Gelke.
Up in Dublin, we were 1 minute ahead of the flight plan, and we've got a surplus of 545 kilos.
And before I brief, Nick, I'll just do the PAX quick brief.
Check.
First off, just a quick look at the arrival. Normally what they do is after Gelke we'll get direct to Gerva, and after Gerva then it's the transition over to, depending on the traffic, they'll give us Gerva, Tala, Tweed, depending on the amount of traffic that they have, but in the interim period, depending on how much traffic we have, we'll get radar vectors around to runway 06. So we'll either have to continue northeast, or they'll turn us back to the northwest for vectors to runway 06. So we'll plan on crossing Gerva at 170 thereabouts, and then descending thereafter as per ATC. As far as the approach itself goes, observing the highest of the MSA to the south, 3,800 feet, descending down to the platform altitude of 3,000 to intercept at 8.9 from the field, down the glide path to cross the locator at 1,640 feet to check as we go across, and proceeding then down to the DA, which is 310 feet, or if you're required is 550 meters. I believe the visibility is
11 kilometers.
11 kilometers at the field, so that's not a problem. Missed approach, if we need to, will be straight ahead to 3,000, and then as directed by ATC. As far as the nav aids go, on your side, localizer primary, my side, localizer primary. The courses are checked, and we'll just put in uniform whiskey, which is 368. As we get closer, we'll identify all the appropriate nav aids.
Check.
If you have any other questions, that just about does it.
No questions.
Okay, thanks.
Good evening, Scottish. It's the JetMagic 84 Echo with you. We're towards base op flight level 270.
JetMagic 84 Echo, Scottish Roger, flight heading 020 degrees.
Heading 020 now, JetMagic 84 Echo.
Okay, 020 is selected.
Checked. People do different things when we get a radar heading. You can see John's gone to half scale. So he hasn't got a full compass rose, he's just got a half a rose there. And I've gone to conventional nav. The reason we do that is because it's very easy to go, oh look, can you see we're drifting, we're 0.24 of a mile left of track, and to go, oh goodness, and to press FMS or try and recapture the track inbound to base op. So if you give yourself an obvious distractor, then hopefully you won't intercept it.
Yeah, this is my cue to tell me that the airplane is in heading mode and not tracking to a specified fix. In other words, ATC have given me a heading to fly and don't want me to track to any fix as such.
There's another way we can do it. If you look back at the FMS again, if you press heading, it says to you, what do you want to have as your commanded heading? And we've got 019 and it's offered us that. We can press enter and it comes up heading select. And if I now press FMS again, it'll show me heading select and it'll show us drifting left of the track.
Nick, what was the planned landing weight?
16.5.
Okay. So
we're 17 now, so it's probably about right.
So 16.5.
This is how we work out the speeds. If you've seen other aeroplanes, you'll probably notice that they have a speed card somewhere, but we don't have that in our aeroplane. So what we do is we can go to this book, we work out what our landing weight is. So John, before we took off, produced a thing called a load sheet, which tells us how much the aeroplane weighs, how much all our passengers and their bags weigh. This tells us we've got a photographer on the jump seat. This tells us what our fuel on board is, and this tells us what our anticipated trip fuel is, and it tells us that we should be landing at 16,483. Descend 170, level of beam Gerva, JetMagic 84 Echo.
Alright, so selecting 170 on the altitude selector. .170 is set, vertical speed mode engaged, and I can just start down as gentle 1,000 feet a minute initially. As we descend, obviously the speed's going to increase, so I've got to reduce thrust here, and this is where the speed vector comes in handy. I can tell if my speed's going to increase for whatever my vertical speed speed setting is selected. So right now I'm flying a constant airspeed, and that's nice for me.
And if you look at John's FMS, it's got a message here. If I press message, it says top of descent alert. So it's telling us that we want to go down if we need to be at flight level 170, and we should descend at the moment at 1,900 feet a minute, more or less. And I don't know what John's got in as a target vertical speed. He's got a target vertical speed the same as me of 2,500 feet a minute.
Right. So I'll just modify my rate of descent here to comply with what the FMS says. So 1,800 feet for cash. You'll see the airspeed increasing now as my rate of descent increases.
Direct Gerva now, JetMagic 84 Echo. Direct Gerva.
Thanks.
Direct Gerva is inserted.
Okay, so there's the direct to Gerva. Hit LNAV, and the autopilot will immediately pick up the inbound track to Gerva and make the turn as necessary.
And here on my side, Jan, you can just see this cyan, I think is the name of the colour, glide slope coming in, which shows us that John is actually intercepting the rate of descent that the FMS wants for us to make that 3.1 or 3.2 degree glide. And so now all we need to do is follow that little glide slope down. That'll take us down at 3.1 degrees. I'll cycle the signs.
Yep.
And just to tell the girls that we're getting ready to land, this is the, hang on, I'll put some light on, you can see this is the seatbelt sign which we switched off for the cruise, and we cycle the sign, 2 bells tells the girls there's just a bit over 20 minutes left to go. And now I'm going to read to John
the word.
The word. And it says descent check, so we put the windshield heat on for the descent. And I say briefing.
Is complete.
Check. The speed bugs
are set.
That's checked. Is that flaps 22?
Flap 45.
Check. Destination fuel. On our flight plan, it says here our alternate, which is EGPF, which is Glasgow, and it tells us that in order to get there we need 822 kilos of fuel. 124.82, I think you said, JetMagic 84 Echo. 12480, JetMagic 84 Echo. Cheerio, thanks. Scottish, good evening. JetMagic 84 Echo is with you at descending flight level 170 to be level by Gerva.
JetMagic 84 Echo, roger.
So it says here that we need 822 to divert to...
JetMagic 84 Echo, descent flight level 130.
Descent 130, JetMagic 84 Echo.
British flight 16, descend now flight level 80. Set now flight level 80.
Okay, 130 is set. Nick, I just had another look at these speeds and they looked a little high, so I rechecked them and I've reset them for the approach. It was actually after ice was this speed. So
okay,
so.
And Hazel's out. So yeah, sorry, so this says EGPF is our alternate. It tells we need 822 kilos to get there, and I've written down the weather for Glasgow and it says it's got a light wind, good visibility, moderate drizzle and scattered cloud at 1600 feet. Temperature's 9, dew point's 994, so it's fine as an alternate. So I can say to John, we need 822 kilos to go to Glasgow.
And we'll have 1,400 kilos as we go across the threshold.
060 the heading, JetMagic 84 Echo.
Okay, so I've switched back to heading mode now because he wants us to, controller wants us to fly heading. And we select the heading 060 and away we go.
Pressurization. So what we have on board the aeroplane, as we've discussed earlier, is the pressurization panel, which shows us that the cabin's descending. It's down at 2,600 feet. It's going down at 400 feet per minute, and our differential pressure between the inside of the hull and the outside is 6.4 pounds per square inch. When we get on the ground, you'll see that'll be 0, because of course the inside will equal the outside. And down here on the very bottom of the console, before departure, John entered the landing elevation, which is 200 feet in Edinburgh. It's actually 110 feet, but 200 feet is what we use. We set it a little bit high. And that means that what the aeroplane will do is it will try to descend the aeroplane so it lands before we do, so that the passengers don't even notice us going down. So if you look at the moment, the aeroplane's going down at 2,250 feet per minute, but the cabin's only going down at 450 feet per minute, which is pretty clever. Pressurization cabin signal
is given.
Checked. That's descent checks complete.
Roger.
Good evening, Scottish. It's the JetMagic 84 Echo with you. We're level 130 on a radar heading 060.
JetMagic 84 Echo, Scottish, good afternoon. Continue heading, descent flight level 110.
On the heading, descent flight level 110, JetMagic 84 Echo.
Okay, 110 is set, vertical speed mode engaged, 1,000 a minute initially.
JetMagic 84 Echo, descent flight level 9
Continue descent flight level 90, JetMagic 84 Echo.
90 set, ASL's armed, and we'll increase the rate of descent now to...
Checked. I'm just going to tell the girls. I can go 130.6.
Glasgow, good evening, British
130.6 is the service air frequency, who are the people who look after us in Edinburgh, so I'm just going to call them now and tell them we're inbound and we need fuel. So it's your ATC, please, John.
Aye. We're just approaching now 6,000, but also you can see that the speed limit indicator has moved down to 240, which is our speed limitation below 8,000 feet, which is a structural limitation for the windshield. So the speed limit indicator follows the appropriate speed limit for whatever phase of flight that we're in.
Okay.
It's very, very, very intelligent.
Magic 84 Echo, turn left, heading 360.
360 the heading, JetMagic 84 Echo.
360.
So you can see they're paralleling us with the final approach track, and he's just turning us left to capture it.
British 516 is established. British
360 is set.
Descend on the ILS, speed not less than 160 knots to 4 miles. So last 164. JetMagic 84 Echo, descent altitude 3,000 feet.
Could you descend 3,000 feet, JetMagic 84 Echo.
Okay, 3,000 is set. ASL is armed.
Checked. That's the city of Edinburgh. And there's Glasgow.
Good evening, it's EZ507, passing from 108, descending from late 0, heading is 340 with 77 with Victor.
EZ507, then radar, good evening, back to Dallas, approach runway 06, you're number 3 in traffic. Information is Whiskey Mike, GNH 90904 millibars.
So this is the flap lever, I've put it to 9, and you'll see here with the flaps indication there's a green dash as it travels, and then it'll come up and it'll say the figure 9. There it is, flaps 9 are set. Do you want to turn the ICAS down a tiny bit, John?
Sure.
EZ507, report your speed.
We're at 250 knots now.
Roger, report you need to reduce below that.
Okay.
JetMagic 84 Echo, turn right, heading 030, close a localizer from the right, report established.
Right, 030, call localizer established, JetMagic 84 Echo.
Okay, arming the nav, and 030 selected, and speed's cool. Alright, 11 miles, we're good to go. ACL capture, speed 180.
EZ507, descent altitude 6,000 feet, GNH 904 millibars.
Centimeter 6,000 feet, 904 EZ507.
Feels insane. Okay.
Point, I think you descend on the ILS, speed 160 knots to 4 miles.
Descend on the ILS 160 to 4, JetMagic 84 Echo.
JetMagic 84 Echo, contact Tona, 118.7, bye-bye.
118.7, JetMagic 84 Echo. Right side's captured.
Gear down, flap 22, please. No, speed's checked. It's travelling. Okay, localizer glide slope is captured. ASL to the go around, speed 160 till 4 miles.
ASL is to go around, gears down, flaps are 22. Good evening, Tower. It's the JetMagic 84 Echo with you. We are fully established on 06.
JetMagic 84 Echo, Edinburgh Tower, hello, continue approach 06, wind 030, 3 knots.
Continue approach, JetMagic 84 Echo. If you look on the runway, Jan, you can see why we've been slowed down. It's because there's traffic backtracking. You can see his lights on, just to the right of the pappies, the things that tell us whether we're on the correct glide or not. And hopefully, he'll turn around in a minute and go away.
EZ708, clear takeoff 06, wind 030, 3 knots.
Clear takeoff runway 06, EZ708.
I think that's an old Go aeroplane, probably, isn't it? That's an old Go route.
So just slowing the airplane down out to the final flap speed,
4.6, 1640. Checks. Minimum's not required. Go around to 3,000 feet out of marker checks complete.
Flap 45, please.
Speed checked. It's travelling. Here you see, this is a strange thing about this Embraer 135. There's only 2 in the world. 1 in the world, maybe, that has this. This is the steep approach button, which we don't need tonight.
And if you could set 127 on the speed, that would be nice. Thanks.
Coming in.
JetMagic 84 Echo, clear to land 06, 030, 3 knots.
Clear to land 06, JetMagic 84 Echo.
And the final landing checks, please.
Landing gear.
Is down triggering.
Flaps
45.
Automatics
Are coming off.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Autopilot's off.
Cabin report
Is received.
and the landing clearance
Is received.
That's final checks complete.
Yeah.
Contact Scottish 124, destination 2, bye-bye.
Scottish 12482, bye-bye, EZ708.
Approaching Panama.
Okay, fields and sight landing.
200.
It's checked.
100.
Let's check.
Tower, leaving middle of 5 Echo Tower, proceeding Bravo 1.
5 Echo Hotel, hello, hold in 10.
Okay, middle of 5 Echo Tower.
E022, backtrack line up weight 06.
Backtrack line up weight 06, EC022.
50 knots.
JetMagic 84 Echo, vacate right and contact ground 121.75, bye-bye.
Vacate right ground 121.75, JetMagic 85 Echo. Your controls?
My controls.
Aye, aye. Ground, evening JetMagic 84 Echo is just clearing runway 06 now.
JetMagic 84 Echo, good evening to you. Taxi through Echo stand 1 Alpha.
Through Echo 1 to stand 1 Alpha, JetMagic 84 Echo.
Echo is the second on the left, I think. Yeah, this is Foxtrot. Echo 1 Alpha.
Yeah, base, this is Alpha right here, and we're gonna go up to Echo 1.
That's the next on the left, and then
and then 1 Alpha is the innermost stand, I believe.
Check. And whenever you're ready, my weather radar is stood by.
Check. Thanks.
After landing checklist, please.
That's Associated Disregard.
Checked.
After landing checks.
You can see the Christmas decorations. Look. They're even more festive in Edinburgh than they are in Cork, if you thought that was possible.
What I do here, Jan, is just set the pressurization for the return trip. So I'm setting 500 feet, which is the field elevation at Cork. And then the APU.
To on, please.
It's coming up. Okay, here comes the APU. What I do then is I go to the electrics page and monitor the electrical output of the generator and looking for a moderate load on it. This confirms that the APU is online and is generating a load, so this tells me that the APU is working correctly.
You said 1 Alpha, didn't you?
Yeah. That's her boy there, huh? So Bravo is the deepest one then.
Yeah,
Alpha. APU's up after landing checks are complete.
Checked. There's the tug, ready to push us back.
On the block, so 5.
And the stopping engines checklist, please.
Park and brake.
Showing you that PLI, the little triangular thing which came up in green and red and amber. I was telling you it shows the degrees to the stick shaker. That's the angle of attack indicator. So that's what sets off the PLI. So if we put it like that and we go into the airplane, look at it, we'll probably see it going off. This is the ice detector. So it's, I forget, what is it, transonic vibration or something. And in fact it's still really hot. And it's heated obviously, and once it detects ice on it because it's changing in the vibration, it sets off the warning in the airplane, which puts all the anti-icing on. This is the fuel panel. So from looking at our weather and our flight plan, we can determine how much fuel we want. And we come along here, and simply by pressing increase or decrease, we can increase the amount of fuel or decrease the amount of fuel to how much we want. We then switch this to open, the refueler plugs in and it refuels to whatever we've selected. Obviously we're a bit late coming out because it's already refueled it. What we can do is we can also put it to defuel. He can put his hose on and suck the fuel out for us by selecting a figure that's below. And to show you how sensible technology is, you don't even need any. If you shut this, it automatically closes all the switches.
Okay, let's push that now then.
Thanks very much indeed. And turning 2 then.
1, 2.
Here comes number 2, that's checklist complete.
That's check.
M2.
Oil pressure.
Ignition's on.
Ground Easy 5's right, 749, request push and start.
Easy 508, good evening to you. Just bear with me on that. Do that once you actually push back onto the taxiway, but start.
Get on 2, thanks, ground. We'll start number 1, please.
Easy 5's right.
Here comes number 1.
Good evening, Shuttle 8 Charlie, vacated.
Shuttle 8 Charlie, good evening to you. Taxi in through Foxtrot 4 stand 9, the 146 is just shortly to taxi.
Ignition's on.
Foxtrot stand 9 and copy the 146 taxiing Shuttle 8 Charlie.
Fuel flow. Light up.
Okay, parking brake set please.
That's jet 530, the peak. Parking brake set, thanks. You can disconnect everything and we'll see you on the right hand side. Thanks very much for your help.
Okay, have a good flight.
Thanks, cheerio. And the after-starting engines checklist.
Electrical.
Please, electrical is checked and auto.
APU.
APU is going off.
FedEx, I'll reset and alternate. That's set.
Checked.
Hydraulics are selected auto.
That's checked.
Ice protection selected auto.
Checked.
Windshield heat standby. Aircon is black midnight. Is set. Checked.
Okay, talking about this
And
please. Have a good flight, bye.
Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye.
Wind is calm. I'll check the flight
British
controls.
8 Tango Sierra for taxi.
British 8 Tango Sierra taxi hold Bravo 106 QNH 994 millimeters.
Rudder is
Bravo 106
Controls are checked, all guarded,
Tango Sierra.
and the trims are 008 for the takeoff. After start checks are complete. I'll call for the taxi.
That's checked.
JetMagic 85 Echo right taxi. Do you want full length, Nick?
We should ask you.
Yeah.
JetMagic 85 Echo, you're following the 146 from the right. Hold Bravo 106 QNH 994 millimeters.
Shall we?
Alright, we'll follow the 146 from the right. And so again, the holding point?
Bravo 106 1014. Correction, 994.
994, holding point Bravo 1, and request a full length if possible. JetMagic 84 Echo.
Sorry,
Easy 5's right, request push when available.
Easy 5
See you in a minute. Don't be a
just
stranger, bye.
After that, your push is approved.
So our visual with the BA at 12 o'clock.
Push approved, Easy 5's
Clear
right.
on the left.
Clear on the right side. There's a lovely smell of dinner.
That's not yours though. I think
What?
you'll find that's Sinead's beautiful dinner that she brought from home. Your brakes. If some vegetarian thing with big chunks of potato.
Brakes feel good.
And the taxi checks, please.
Brakes.
JetMagic 85 Echo, I have your clearances ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
JetMagic 85 Echo has cleared to Cork, Turnberry 6 Delta, departure squawk 4473.
Average cleared Cork via the Turnberry 6 Delta, departure 4473 on the squawk JetMagic 85 Echo.
85 Echo, that's correct. British 8 Tango Sierra, contact
brakes are checked, the flaps are selected 9.
Checked.
The departure, the transponder, and the FMS. So the departures, as briefed, it's Turnberry 6 Delta, max SID altitude 6000, that's in the FMS.
You'll see as we come up here, there's a sign on the side of the run of the taxiway here. It says Alpha 40624, and it's a Category 2 hold. If you look as we get a bit closer, you'll see there's a yellow line that's painted on the floor.
Okay, right, ground
here.
1575, like a 95, 4 ground, like a 9.
And as we get a bit closer, you'll see it's 2 parallel lines with 2s all the way along. So you can remember that's a Category 2 hold because it's got lots of 2s written on it. They're Roman 2s, but they're 2s all the same. And then this is a Category 1. You can see just around the corner where that 146 is holding short. That's Bravo 1, which is a Category 1 hold. It's got a red stop bar on it, and you'll see that it's just a line with a series of dashes. Instead of 2 parallel lines, it's 1 line with a parallel dashed line, which is a Cat 1 hold.
Straight 75, you're on cleared line 06, the wind 2802 knots.
Clear line 06, plan 3875.
So in that case, Nick, the taxi checks are complete.
Perfect. Thanks very much, John. Is checked.
TCAS. Is, sorry. Tower 1. Select.
That is checked.
The takeoff configuration is...
Takeoff.
JetMagic 85 Echo, clear takeoff 06,
Spoiler.
the surface wind 3002 knots.
Clear takeoff runway 06, JetMagic 85 Echo.
It's a very good demonstration of the takeoff configuration. Doing its job, the spoilers were open, hence the failed test.
Okay, spoilers are closed. And
Takeoff.
check
Okay.
takeoff configuration. It's okay. And takeoff clearance is...
Received.
Lineup checks are complete.
Happy?
All set.
Here we go. Check thrust.
ATCS is armed. Thrust is set.
Gear up, please.
Gear up.
Engage speed, please.
Speed is engaged.
Pack 2 valves closed.
I've recycled.
Check. Climb thrust, please.
Selected.
JetMagic 85 Echo, contact Scottish Control 124.82, bye-bye.
Scottish 12482, thanks, good night, JetMagic 85 Echo. 2482.
Orange 2513.
And I'm 1 Whiskey Charlie, climb flight level 100.
Climb flight level 100, headed 1 Whiskey Charlie.
Scottish Evening, JetMagic 85 Echo, Turnberry 6 Delta, climbing level 6, sir.
Thank you, JetMagic 85 Echo, Scottish. Good evening, Scott 4473 with high down. Can you verify your passing altitude?
4473 Squawk ident, passing 4,000 feet now.
Thank you, JetMagic 85 Echo. Climb flight level 150.
Climb flight level 150, JetMagic 85 Echo.
British 8, Tango Sarah, turn left on the heading now 195.
150 is set.
That's checked. Hazel's armed. Flap 0, please.
In orange 2513, can you spell again, Blackham?
Position called Blacker.
Vertical speed. We have to fly with flaps at 9 and max thrust until 1500 feet, and then we can reduce the thrust in the climb, and then at 3000 feet above the airfield we can start to accelerate. But because we're turning inbound to accept this radial inbound to Glasgow, there's no point accelerating, otherwise the FMS won't be able to follow the track. So now that we're inbound, we're going to accelerate. So I've done that using vertical speed 1000 feet per minute. We're watching the speed build up here. And with our aeroplane we have a limitation at 8,000 feet of 250 knots, which has been lifted, but we always have a limitation of 250 knots below 10,000 feet. You can see we're only at 9,000 feet now. So I'll increase my rate of climb now to maintain 250 knots. And the climb checks, please.
Aye, aye.
And I've engaged IAS with 250 knots, so we'll climb at 250 knots to satisfy the requirement for air traffic control. We didn't let the girls out. Can we cycle the sign?
Sure. And just check, the aircon and pressurization is set, Nick.
That's checked.
I'm flight level 250, JetMagic 85 Echo. APU is off.
250 is selected as armed.
Check.
That's checked.
And the altimeter 1013.
Passing 114 now.
That's checked, and plus minus 20 on the ISIS.
Checked.
Climb checks complete.
And now above 10,000 feet we can accelerate again, so I've set vertical speed to 1,000 feet a minute again here, and I'll accelerate to 290 knots, and then we'll let the autopilot fly it with the speed. What I could do is I could go heading, and it says 263 there, it says 262 actually, so if I wanted to be pedantic I could put 263, enter, enter, and then I can press LNAV again. And using LNAV it's in heading select, and we're stuck on that heading. You can see LNAV's captured again, it's gone green. And as it approaches the waypoint, it comes up amber here.
Charlie, passing up 23000.
JetMagic 85 Echo, turn left heading 230 degrees.
Left 230 degrees, JetMagic 85 Echo.
Easy 432, squawk 5033, IDEP.
IDEP, you have easy 432.
So I've typed in left 230 for the clearance by Scottish.
British 8, Tango Sierra, turn left heading 170 degrees.
Left heading 170, British 8, Tango Sierra.
Easy 432, climb level 150.
Climb flight level 150, easy 432.
If you're happy, we'll let the passengers out.
Yep. Signal signs off.
Check.
Easy 508, turn left heading 210 degrees.
Heading 210 degrees, easy as far as right.
Shuttle 7 uniform, climb level 180.
Climb level 180.
The multifunction display, as we discussed before, we can monitor our track, which is this white line here. Because we're on a heading at the moment, if you remember we commanded a heading of 230, we're tracking away from our track line. And in fact, if I get rid of this thing here, which shows us the TCAS, and I go back to system, you'll see that we're actually 3.2 miles right of our track. at the moment. So this white line's our track line. What I can do using this box of tricks up here, which is the radar controller box, is I can expand our range out. So I can expand our range, and you can see this shows that that's half scale, so that's 50 nautical miles, that's 100 nautical miles, and finally that's 200 nautical miles, so we can see all the way to Dublin. What we can also do is, if we want to, we can use the weather radar to map the ground. Now if I put it back to weather radar for a minute, and I use the tilt, I can tilt the scale down until it picks up Scotland. And what it's going to do is it's going to come up and it's going to show Scotland. It's quite a clever radar actually. What it does is it scans right for my side, right to left for my side, and then it scans left to right for John's side. So it's just one radar head, and it moves up and down to do what we want it to do on our side. So at the moment it's showing Scotland as actually being quite soft, all beautiful greens. If I go to ground map, it changes and it goes to more earthy colours. Direct to Gelky.
Is that for it?
12567.
I'll call him in a second. Yeah, okay. Scottish JetMagic 85 Echo, is that 12567 for us?
JetMagic 85 Echo, you found 12567.
2567 JetMagic 85 Echo, thanks tonight. You were right.
32 turn left, heading 200.
One to go, is checked.
Scottish Haven JetMagic 85 Echo, climbing flight level 250 direct to Gelky.
JetMagic 85 Echo, Scottish, roger.
Looking for 260 as the final check. Direct to.
So here we go. At the moment you can see the coast of Scotland and maybe some of the outer islands. This is Macrahanish over here, and that's in ground map.
JetMagic 85 Echo, climb flight level 260.
Climb flight level 260 JetMagic 85 Echo.
260 selected Azles armed. So yeah, the point of showing you this was, this shows you what it looks like in ground map, so it changes its colour to sort of purples and Azles capturing, and greens, and in weather it's all bright red, which is supposed to attract your attention to the passing storm. But the other thing, if you look just down, if you can see my finger, just down here it says WX and it says -6. What we can do, what we're trying to do with the radar, is we're trying to get the very bottom of the beam to touch the ground, because then all the bit above it is showing us what's in the air. So this very cleverly, if we pull this little button out here, you'll see that instead of having -6, whatever we had before, it's come up with 2 alpha, and that alpha means that it's actually using altitude compensated tilt. So what it's doing now is it's using its little brain and it's taking information from a thing called the air data computer, which tells it how high we are, and it's working out exactly where the bottom of its beam will intercept the ground. And what it does, because it's not very intelligent, I mean it's pretty intelligent but it's not very intelligent, what it does is it uses the ground. It says that all ground is at 2,000 feet, but you can see that very faint line at the end, that's where it's touching terra firma. So it automatically drops itself. And if I change the range, at the moment we've got 100 miles range, if I draw it in, you watch this 2, we'd expect as I draw it in that it will go down a little bit. And here we go, 25 miles, sure enough it's just 1. And there it is, at 12.5 miles it's 4 degrees down, because it's got to dip down quite substantially in order to get the bottom of the beam touching the ground. Another thing we could do, if you look at this WX, just after it, if I press this TRB button, it comes up with a T. And using Doppler, it's supposed to be able to detect turbulence in the air, and it comes up with white dots and shows you where the turbulence is. I have to say, in a fair few hours of flying this machine, I've never actually seen it do that. If you remember earlier, I told you we've just got one radar head. We've got a 12-inch dish in the nose of the aeroplane, and when it scans for me, it scans from right to left. So if I have my radar fully up and John has his fully down, what it'll do is the radar head will go across fully up for me, and then it will drop and it'll scan across fully down for John. The only way that I can actually affect John's radar is by pressing this one here, which is set, which means that instead of scanning a full 90 degrees left to right, it's just scanning 45 degrees. And you can see these two little marks. If I tilt it down a bit, perhaps we'll get a better example. So it refreshes itself a lot quicker, so it's going backwards and forwards a lot quicker. So if we've got some really bad weather in our 12 o'clock, it will pick it up because it'll be scanning backwards and forwards. And here you can see the coast of Ireland. And the final thing, our new toy, is on my controller here. I've got the lightning sensor selector, and this projects these rather interesting lightning signals. I'm told by the people who brought the airplane back from Brazil that it's a very useful function, but if the camera can see outside the window, well, you can see Dublin from here, and we're at 27,000 feet just to beam Belfast. So there's not really much in the way of cloud, so I think that the function isn't really working particularly well at the moment.
Yeah. Conjunction with the weather radar is very useful.
Yeah, if you've got them both operating together.
Airplanes it's really helpful.
So obviously you've got a big red cell, and you've got lightning associated with it, then you know that there's something out there, but it seems to give quite a lot of spurious signals at the moment.
Because even on the other ones that I've used, it was always sporadic, electrical activity, so it would detect that as well.
One other thing I'll show you just quickly, which is quite nice. If you look at my primary flight display, at the moment I've got the compass arc. If I go to what it describes as Brooks weather here, I get a half, I don't get the full compass arc, I get a sector of it. And you can see now, I'm getting weather radar information. I'm just going to artificially produce some, I'm getting weather information. The ERJ145 has enhanced GPWS. So some gentleman or lady has gone out and they've mapped, I think it's 25 nautical miles around every major airport that we operate into. And they've produced a computer-generated image of the local area. And what I can do is, instead of having this weather radar on my side, I can use my multifunction display, press return, and here you'll see it's got WX, and beneath it it's got terrain. Well, it's got TER actually. If I press it to TER, it comes up and it shows terrain. So this isn't a radar, this is purely a computer database. Obviously at 27,000 feet, hopefully it won't detect any terrain. But as we come into land at Cork, it will show you a range of terrain that might threaten the aeroplane. So obviously if it's red, it means that it's in close proximity and it might cause us a problem. And if it's in green, it doesn't consider that it's much of a problem. But we're flying out of Geneva quite a lot. It's quite a useful function to have because of course you're in a valley there, so it's quite nice to see all the weather around you. What else can I show you? Oh yeah, we've got a joystick. You'll see here it says under menu it's got speeds and joystick. If I press speeds, it comes up with the speeds that we set, which you've seen before. If I return and I go to joystick, what I can do is using this little knob here, which says FMS next to it, which you possibly can't see very well. Excuse your eyes for just a minute. This little knob here, which says FMS, I can bring out a cursor from the aeroplane. So here it comes, this is the cursor. And what I can do is I can just quickly return to weather. I can expand my scale until I can see Cork, and then I can take my cursor and I can pop it on top of Cork. I have to say that generally people never use this, but anyway, it is here. And you'll see down to the right here, I've put the cursor right on top of Cork, the airport, and it tells me that Cork is a bearing of 223 and it's 180 nautical miles away from us. And there's outside traffic passing over the top of us on the TCAS that's restricting us to flight level 270, which I can't actually see, must have passed behind. And what I can do now is, if we no longer want that, I can press recall, and it brings that back in, and we no longer have the joystick working. Thank you very much. Climb 280, JetMagic 85 Echo. 280, selected, vertical speed, 900 feet a minute. Setting that, there's the heading made on my side.
Yeah, I'm set.
167 set, both, that's checked. Back to FMS now. It's based on 1099, which we can both have active.
Request descent.
JetMagic 85 Echo, Shannon, descent flight level 100.
Descent flight level 100, JetMagic 85 Echo. I'll give service air a call.
Check.
Okay, Upper Romeo 37 to Southampton, and Upper Romeo 8 to Middlehurst, and then...
Okay, sorry, descent checks briefing.
Complete.
Speed bugs.
Set.
Destination fuel minimum diversion is 7.
113, Shannon, go ahead, sir.
It's 360 available now.
I'm sorry, it's 681 kilos.
681, but you can see Shannon out to our right there, which looks okay. And we've got 1670, so we're going to have at least 500 kilos.
Pressurization is set, and the cabin signal is
given.
Send check, sir. Check.
Now, for a nicely executed approach and descent profile, if you multiply your altitude, which at the moment is 10,000 feet, by 3, so that would give us 30, because we dropped the last 3 zeros. That's how many miles we should be away at this level. And you can see we've got 21 miles, but we're quite oblique, so we're a little bit higher than we normally would be. But that's because we've had a last minute runway change. So what we have to do now is we have to slow down a little bit.
JetMagic 85 Echo, turn right heading at 245, descend altitude 2,500 feet.
Alright, turn heading 245, descend 2,500.
2,500 selected, ASL's armed. Autopilot.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
823, descend altitude 4,000 feet.
4,000, 7823.
Nice feature. We can put in a straight line representing the final approach course, and the FMS tells us how far we are displaced. So in this case, we're 3.5 miles to the final approach course, and this is useful for intercepting and also just situational awareness.
And I've got the lights. Can you see the lights?
Yep, field inside.
I'm happy to call visual if you are.
You want a visual approach?
If you're happy, yeah.
Yep. JetMagic 85 Echoes, field insight request visual.
JetMagic 85 Echo, roger, cleared visual approach, runway 17, surface of wind 28012, contact tower 19.3.
Clear visual 17, tower 19.3, JetMagic 85 Echo, thanks, Nick.
Gear down, please.
Cork target even JetMagic 85 Echoes, just turning on to the final for the visual to runway 17.
JetMagic 85 Echo, good day to you, clear to land runway 17, surface wind 280 degrees, 12 knots.
Clear to land runway 17, JetMagic 85 Echo.
Flaps 22, please.
Flaps 22.
Could you set the ASL to go around, please, John?
Set.
That's checked. It's quite a strong tailwind up here, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Sonia, sorry about that.
Hello there, cabin and galley secure for landing.
Well done. Thanks very much. See you in a minute. Bye. So the other marker check, please.
At 1665. Just going over it now. All 2 checks.
Flaps 45, please.
Speed checks. Flaps 45.
And the finals checklist, please.
Landing gear.
It's down with 3 greens.
Flaps.
Travelling.
Autopilot yaw damper.
45. Autopilot yaw dampers off.
Checked. And the cabin report.
Is received.
Landing clearance.
Did he give it? I don't know.
And confirm clear to land 85 Echo.
Confirm, sir, clear to land, surface wind 280 degrees 12.
Clear to land 17 JetMagic 85 Echo.
Thank you.
The flaps are copied 45. Landing checks are complete.
That's checked. The finals check's complete. Visual landing.
200. 100.
85 Echo, 180 backtrack onto runway 25, taxiway Bravo, and parking.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, be ready on the turnaround.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 35, right turnout on track to Strumble, surface wind 260 degrees 10 knots.
Clear takeoff, runway 35, right turn, direct Strumble, JetMagic 26 Charlie, thanks.
That's the clearance received. That's the lineup checks complete.
Check.
It's your controls when you're ready.
Okay.
Happy for me to set thrust, your brakes? Happy?
Yep, set thrust.
Tier 1, 8 yes is armed. Thrust is set.
Check.
80.
Checked.
V1 rotate. V2. Gear up. Gears in transit.
Speed mode.
IS engaged.
Plan thrust, please. And a heading of 060.
7722, good evening.
Actually, make that 090.
35, surface
We're
wind
going to Strumble,
270 degrees 12 knots.
I can put you direct to Strumble.
That's great, thanks. And speed 180. Flaps up.
Check.
And just do direct Strumble again first, please.
That's travelling.
Sure.
Strumble is inserted.
And select LNAV.
LNAV's armed and captured.
Cheers. checks when you get a chance, please.
Can we... Oh. We're going to London City now, and London City is different to a lot of other airports that we operate into because it's a thing called a Category C aerodrome, which means that we have to have special training to go in there. And because it's expensive, it means the company is only prepared to pay for the captain to do it. So unfortunately, John's done the takeoff from Cork now, and he now has to hand over control to me to do the landing in London City. Nobody's sure whether that's a good idea or not, but that's what's going to happen anyway. So in order to hand over control at the moment, if you look at my... if you look at my primary flight display, it's coupled to John's side. So what we're going to do is we're going to couple it over to my side by pressing the couple button, so it's heading and out, coupled to your side. It's now my side, heading and out. I'm going to take the TCAS, and you might like to take...
Okay, I got the fuel page and speeds.
Check. We could call him and ask him for the sim, please.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, request descent.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, descend. Flight level 140, and be level 40 miles. Sorry, and be level of beam Kennet.
Descend 140 to be level of beam Kennet, JetMagic 26 Charlie. Okay, I'm off air for a minute.
That's checked. We've got 30 minutes to go when we're starting our descent, which seems a little bit early, but the reason for it is that we have to be level at a place called Kennet, which I can show you on the chart here. I don't know if you can see it. We're going here to London City, and we're following this arrival, which is the Alcon 2 Alpha, and we have to be at this point here by flight level 140. The reason for that is there's London Heathrow traffic, there's Luton traffic, and there's Stansted traffic, and there's even Gatwick traffic. So in order to fit it all in, we have to be at flight level 140 by a beam Kennet. So we're going to start our way down to make sure that we achieve that. And I think we'll do this as well. So there's vertical speed. So yes, Kennet is the restriction, flight level 140, just 6 miles before, and then radar vectors all the way round. And we'll eventually get to Lambourne probably, and then a heading after that. And then we're looking at plate 412, which is the ILS-DME runway 28.
Sure.
So the difference about London City to other airfields is here. The glide slope is 5.5 degrees. The other difference is the runway is only 30 metres wide, which is a bit thinner than we're normally used to. And the other difference is it's surrounded by buildings, which you may not notice when we fly in tonight, but those three things make it quite entertaining. This evening we've got quite a brisk wind blowing from the southwest, which should make it a little bumpy on finals. But otherwise, it's from a platform of 2,000 feet.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, turn left please, heading 095.
Left 095, JetMagic 26 Charlie.
It's from 2,000 feet, we'll be fully established, so we'll have the gear down, flaps 45. As we capture the glide, you'll notice the light comes on this little button here, which will say steep, and I'll ask John to press that, and it will come up with a little green quarter, which says that the steep approach mode is armed. What that does is it means that the GPWS, which is the ground proximity warning system, isn't alarmed by our increased rate of descent. At our speed, we're expecting somewhere in the region of 1,200 feet a minute rate of descent on the final approach. Go through 3 miles at 1220, all the way down to minimum for us, 630 feet. The go-around is ahead to 2,000 feet, which we're going to get to first, and then a right turn to the locator. So I've got 276, I beg your pardon, the inbound course. I see you've got that on your side. I've got 111.15 active, I've got 1156 for Lambourne, and I've got 322 for London City.
Okay, course is checked. Checked my side, thanks.
Checked. Flaps 45, obviously.
Aye.
Now the next thing we have to do is we have to check the landing analysis for runway 28, and today with, really it's all crosswind, plus 10, we can land at 18,237, and it says 129 for VAP. I think that's a bit high. And John's just going to look in the book and see for flaps 45 what our approach speed should be with our
For 18 tons?
In the box it says,
oh, it's going to be 15 and a half.
So it's going to be 15 and a half, and you said on your load sheet 15.
Right, so it's fair enough. So flap 40.
Charlie, turn left heading 090.
Left 090, JetMagic 26 Charlie. Alright, at 15 and a half tons, landing flap 45 will be 118 knots.
Well, 118 is checked. And that wind was virtually all across, wasn't it? So it's just the gust. I'll make it 128, John. So that's the briefing complete, and we can do the descent checklist, please.
Roger, briefing
is complete.
The speed bugs.
Speed bugs are set, thank you.
And destination fuel, we need 752 to divert.
Check, we know that Stansted is fine. So we should have some surplus.
Pressurization is set.
Checked.
And the cabin signal, I'll give them the 20 minutes.
Yes, please. Oh, it's already given. It's already given.
Right. And the windshield heat is coming on. Descent checks are complete.
Check. It's interesting. It's an interesting function of London that we've noticed, that if you look at John's side, you can see the course that we're supposed to fly according to the FMS, which is the arrival, the Alcon 2 Alpha, and we're actually flying it quite nicely, but the way that we're flying it is with radar vectors by London, which must make it quite hard work for them.
This shows quite nicely the big kind of arcing turn that we get into London City. London City is just about here, and they take us, descend us as we proceed north of Heathrow, and just put us in this great big circling arc around to runway 28 at London City. But the vectors almost follow exactly the track of the arrival, as Nick was saying. It's great.
Shipping 727, report you're heading to London 130.92.
20927775.
Bye, great. JetMagic 26 Charlie, turn right, heading 105.
Right, heading 105, JetMagic 26 Charlie.
Ryanair 108 Sierra, resume on navigation.
105.
Parkway, Ryanair 1087.
Midland 7 Foxtrot Papa, climb flight level 140.
140, Midland 7 Foxtrot Papa.
Windshield put on short final.
Ryanair 108 Sierra, D7 flight level 90.
Flight level 90, Ryanair 1080.
Ryanair 108 Sierra, contact Essex, radar 120.62.
062, Ryanair 1060, bye.
Fine, great. Midland 7 Foxtrot Papa, contact London 130.92.
3092, Midland 7 Foxtrot Papa.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, decent flight level 80, level of beam, Brookman's Park.
10 level 8, sir, to be level of beam, Brookman's Park, JetMagic 26 Charlie.
I think we can tell the girls 10 minutes. John, if you like.
Okay.
And the heading bug's on 140.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, descend altitude 4,000.
Then 4,000 JetMagic 26 Charlie.
Easy 3627, turn left now, heading 080 degrees.
We must be number 16 or something, with a 50 knot wind, and he's giving us a heading of 140.
Gemstone 295, direct Charlie Tango. Direct Charlie, thank you. Easy 3627, contact London now 12492, bye-bye. 12492, JetMagic 26 Charlie, contact Thames Radar 1327, bye-bye.
Thames Radar 1327 JetMagic 26 Charlie, thanks mate. 327, this keypad is so small.
1326.
Sierra, was it?
1327, I beg your pardon, you're right, I'm wrong.
Thames Radar, good evening, JetMagic 26 Charlie, descending altitude 4,000, direct to Lambourne, information Sierra, we're in Embraer 135.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, good evening, just maintain 4,000 for the moment, radar heading 140 degrees, vectors for the ILS runway 28.
Roger, descend to maintain 4,000 and left turn to heading 140 degrees now, JetMagic 26 Charlie.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, that's correct, number 2 for the ILS runway 28.
26 Charlie, thanks.
140 it is. 140 it is, heading mains engaged.
With the ILS, contact the tower 18.07. Step with the ILS tower 1807, circling 7. Thanks for that.
3,000 selected, lasers armed, 700 feet a minute, check. Here we are.
Here we are. Bright lights, big city.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, turn right, heading 240, report established.
Right 240 to intercept Wilco, JetMagic 26 Charlie.
240, lock mode armed.
Check.
So this lock here is the localizer, because we're only... It's always a bit confusing with air traffic, whether they've cleared you for the approach or not, but we assume they haven't. That's what Martin was saying. You can see Canary Wharf on our right one, and you can see London City Airport just to the left. Looks like an aircraft carrier. I think it's localizer established.
26 Charlie is established this time, sir.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, thanks. Descend with the ILS, contact the tower 18.07.
Continue with the ILS tower 1807 JetMagic 26 Charlie, thanks.
Up to 22, please.
Speed checks, flaps 22. City Tower, evening JetMagic 26 Charlie is 900 miles now.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, City Tower, hello, continue approach. Number 2 Charlie becoming number 1, wind check 23018 knots.
Roger, continue JetMagic 26 Charlie.
So now we're clear for the approach. We can put the glide slope up by pressing the approach mode, which is what we've done. And if you look at in our 12 o'clock, you can just see 4 red lights. That's the runway. I don't know if you can just make it out.
Hollywood Charlie, Rivers 908.
And the problem here is if you go over the slope and you've got too much speed and not enough drag, the aeroplane will just accelerate all the way down the slope. So you need to be slowed down relatively early.
Circling 788, vacate second left on the greens, taxi stand 1.
Second left stand 1, circling 788.
You can just see settling. You've just switched off his strobes.
You ready for an expeditious backtrack?
Get out, please.
Yes, sir, Rubens 908.
Rubens 908, backtrack and line up and wait, runway 28, expedite the backtrack.
Left check line up 28, expediting Rubens 908.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, there will be a departure ahead.
School JetMagic 26 Charlie.
City Tower, Rubens 410, requesting taxi stand 3.
Rubens 410, hold position.
Hold position, Rubens 410.
And flaps 45, please.
So,
the other pilot's coming.
Autopilot.
410, after the door,
Autopilot.
on the taxiway left to right. Taxi holding point Charlie.
After the Donia, taxi to holding point Charlie, Rubens 410.
Flight sweeps captured. ASL to go around, please, on the steep approach mode.
ASL to the go around, and the steep mode is armed.
Papa is ready for taxi.
That's checked. And the other thing you'll notice on this approach is that the thrust is quite considerably lower to what we normally set because of the steep approach. If you look at the 145, for example, or even the 135 into Edinburgh on a 3 degree. Sorry, John. And the finals checks, please.
Roger, landing gear.
Down 3 greens.
Flaps.
4-5.
Steep approach mode
is green.
Autopilot yaw damper.
They're both off.
The cabin report
Is received.
The landing clearance
Is not received. Is to go.
One item up.
It's checked. I can see him on the runway. He's just turning around, so should be okay.
Swiss 455, Papa taxi initially to hold a beam stand 5.
Taxi to hold a beam stand 5, Swiss 455 Papa.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, clear to land runway 28, surface wind 230, 18 knots.
Clear to land runway 28, JetMagic 26 Charlie.
So that's the landing clearance received. That's the finals checks complete, I think.
Affirmative. Landing checks complete.
Approach straight, enter door 3 Tango 5210, QNH 1008, Rubens 888.
Rubens 888, be back correct. Rubens 908, contact London Control 118.82.
Sure.
11882, and thank you, sir. Rubens 908, good evening.
He didn't say anything about it, did he?
Rubens 410, after landing, Embraer, line up and wait, runway 28.
After landing, Embraer, line up behind and wait, Rubens 410.
Oops. Hold on.
Level
200.
407 for clearance to Dublin.
100.
Sit down at 407, stand by, I'll got your details, I'll call you back very shortly.
Spoiler show.
Check.
JetMagic 26 Charlie, keep rolling past holding point Charlie please, then 180 on the runway to vacate at Charlie and taxi stand number 2.
Alright, keep rolling past Charlie, and we'll do a 180 and come back and vacate at Charlie. JetMagic 26 Charlie.
Hey, Fab, you've given way to the Fokker 50 that's pulling on the runway now.
That's good, we got him in sight. We'll just continue here, do the 180 and wait for him to vacate. Thanks.
Thank you. That's Swiss 455 Papa, after the Embraers vacated at Charlie for stand 2, taxi holding point Charlie.
455 Papa.
Did he say what stand we were on?
Stand 2, I think he said. And confirm this stand number 2 for JetMagic 26 Charlie.
Hey, Fab.
Great, thanks.
And the after landing checklist, please. We'll go without the APU again.
That's cool.
Stand 2.
Check radar, stand by for me.
Checked. Did you ask them for fuel this time?
Yeah. I
Good.
thought I did. I told him we would probably need fuel.
I can see
There's
them
a
out with the
fuel
boats.
truck standing by anyway.
Yeah, check. Now this is also interesting, the parking at London City, because they end up with 2 men to marshal us. And you can see one out here to our right. And then there'll be another one, so we have to go straight at the terminal. Trying hard to avoid Mr. Roy Suckling's aeroplane there.
Sit on 407 tower.
City 407, go ahead.
Sit on 407, sorry to delay for the delay there. I've got your details now. Your clearance is to Dublin. On a Compton 4 Tango tonight, squawk 4434.
Clear to Dublin, Compton 4 Tango 4434 on the squawk 407.
Sit on 407, read back correct. QNH1008.
Sure. Briefing review.
So, if we have a malfunction, it's at the SID turning point, it's right to track 045, and we'll accelerate when we're after the turn. And if everything goes well, it's a head to 1.5 and a right turn.
Roger. Speed bugs are set. The brake temps are checked. The cabin report
3251, report on scene, City QNH1008.
Checked. Oh, that's fireworks again.
Please 251, your traffic is an Embraer backtracking runway 28. Report when you do get him in sight if you do.
Yeah, please 2521 is visual then.
So will you go around a little loop or?
Oh, I don't think there's any requirement, so I think we can just turn around.
Oh, okay.
The little loop never used to be there. Good evening again, Sonia.
Hello there. Cabin and galley is secure for takeoff.
Thank you very much.
John, can I have a cuddle later?
Absolutely, girl.
Okay.
I'm yours forever.
Talk to you later.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, that rather amorous cabin report is received.
Sonia should need the seats to take off, please. And we can do the lining up checks, please.
Cabin signal
is given.
Radar
Please 251, thank you. The
See
traffic
weather.
and Embraer will be departing,
ICAS.
heading west for a mile and a half, turning north, climbing to
ICAS
3000.
is checked.
Roger. The TCAS is selected to Tower 1.
Check.
The takeoff configuration I will check now.
Takeoff. Okay.
The takeoff clearance is to go.
To go. Check.
One item open line up checks.
Check.
Oh man, that wind is out there, yeah.
I forgot to mention something, Jan, on the way in. Can you see the lights halfway up the runway? There's 2 lights just to this right-hand side and 1 light just to the left-hand side of the runway.
Yep.
Those, if you don't land by those, that's the end of the touchdown zone. You're obliged to go around.
Okay.
Okay, the controls are checked.
27 Charlie, traffic information for you. The helicopter 2 miles north of the field, low level. I do have him in sight.
JetMagic 27 Charlie, Roger. Looking for the traffic negative contact.
Okay, I've got you both in sight. He's well out of the way. Clear for takeoff 28, surface with 24016, gusting 30.
Clear takeoff runway 28, JetMagic 27 Charlie, thanks.
My controls.
Actually, they're pretty lively.
Yeah, check. Happy?
Yep, all set.
Please take off when we're complete. Yes, sir. When convenient, we'd like to route west to square 141.
Check thrust.
ATCS is armed.
Roger.
Thrust is set.
You remain as northerly as you are now. Track due west now. Not above 1,000 if you could.
Heading west, not above 1,000. Please do come.
80. Checked. V1. Rotate.
Gear up, please.
Gears up.
Engage speed.
Speed is engaged.
Autopilot, you're down prompt, please.
Selected.
Flaps 9, please.
JetMagic 27 Charlie, you're well above the traffic. Contact London 118.82. Goodbye.
London 118.82, JetMagic 27 Charlie, thanks for that.
Please 251, the Embraer is due south of you. Starting the turn to the north, he's passing 2,400 feet, so you can go not above 2,000 feet on route to the scene.
please. Climb
Selected.
EG3328, thank you. Descend to flight level 120 and make your heading now 020 degrees.
Send 120, heading 020, EG3328.
Heading mode's engaged, turning left.
110.
Tampa 110, Spirit 916.
Good 916, direct to red 5.
Direct red 5, Spirit 916.
JetMagic 27 Charlie, climb altitude 6,000 feet, roll out heading 34, accretion 360 degrees.
Climb 6,000, heading 360 degrees, JetMagic 27 Charlie.
6,000 on the heading 360.
Checked.
Vertical speed. 2,000 feet a minute. Sonia's going to be sick.
EG3328, what is your speed at the moment?
Speed is 310, EG3328.
And come back to 280 knots, please.
280, EG3328.
London, Monarch 027 with you, leveling 140, speed 280 knots. Monarch 027, thank you. Further back 250 knots, descend flight level 120. Descend flight level 120, speed 250 knots, Monarch 027. JetMagic 27 Charlie, turn left heading 310 degrees.
At 310 degrees, JetMagic 27 Charlie.
310.
EG3328, back to 250 knots.
250 knots, 238.
Want to go, Nick?
Thank you. That's checked, John.
JetMagic 27 Charlie, contact London Control now 11977, bye-bye.
London 11977, JetMagic 26 Charlie, thanks, good night.
Cleveland 916, climb flight level
28242, bye.
Morning, good evening, Ryanair 109 Sierra, climbing flight level 80, Boston 6 Romeo.
Ryanair 109 Sierra, turn left heading 280 degrees.
Left heading 280 degrees, Ryanair 109 Sierra.
Thus, negative 20 on the ISIS, and the ice protection test is coming up. Alright, so, Jan, just for explanation purposes, what we're going to do here is basically simulate an icing condition for the airplanes in order to test that all the
climb flight level 110.
Climb flight level 110, JetMagic 27 Charlie. Basically, we're going to force an ice condition on the airplane to make sure that all the anti-icing is working correctly. So the way we do that is we override all the automatics and basically force an icing condition on the airplane.
It's done it anyway.
And what we're looking for here is for all of the bleed valves to open up. And we're looking for a couple of enunciations here on the ICAS. Climb flight level 120, JetMagic 27 Charlie.
27 Charlie, turn left heading 270 degrees.
Left 270 degrees, JetMagic 27 Charlie.
Leave it 12 Tango, turn
so,
left 360 degrees.
There's the caution that we're looking for no ice. It's saying that there's no ice, but the anti-ice is on. So therefore we know that the anti-icing system is actually working, and we leave that on for a few seconds. Turn it back off. And we're looking for all the bleed valves to close. And that's the ice protection test complete. ICAS enunciation goes out.
And it works.
JetMagic 27 Charlie, climb flight level 140.
Climb flight level 140, 27 Charlie.
109 Sierra, climb flight level
140 selected.
It's checked. Yeah, there's a probe on the left side of the fuselage, and it vibrates at like very high frequency, and what happens is if ice accumulates on this probe, it disturbs that frequency and sends an electrical signal to the whole anti-icing system and opens bleed valves, ducts bleed air. Climb 160, JetMagic 27 Charlie. Landing, good evening, JetMagic 27 Charlie, approaching level 160, heading 240 sound.
27 Charlie, good evening, climb level 170, confirm requested level.
Climb flight level 170, request flight level 320 for increase.
Roger.
See how the little thing has come up on the top of the PFD? That's my glide path. So once this has As we get closer to our top of descent, the magenta glide slope will start gently moving down here till it gets to here, and that tells me that I need to start following it down the glide path, just like an ILS. It's very, very nice. Where are we now?
It's the JetMagic 27 Charlie. We're descending flight level 100. We're bound to Bannon, the Squawk 4472, and we've got the QNH 1012.
JetMagic 27 Charlie Cork, your radar identified. Position 42 miles east of Cork at descent flight level 80.
Descend flight level 80 now, JetMagic 27 Charlie.
JetMagic 27 Charlie Cork, turn right, head 320, intercept the localizer, you're cleared for the approach, call established.
320, clear for the approach, call established, JetMagic 27 Charlie, thanks.
Okay, nav is selected.
Approaching minima.
Fields in sight, landing.
300, 06.
Checked.
Checked.
100.
It's checked.
Spoilers open. My controls.
thrust is set.
Yeah, AT2 yes armed.
And HC is on LT1.
That's all checked.
AC?
Check.
V1. Rotate.
Gear up. Gauge speed.
Clear on track, Liffey.
42 Lima from right turn on track to Liffey.
Ting right, Liffey. JetMagic 40 Lima.
Okay, direct left is in the box. And heading bug 053. Set speed 230.
And JetMagic 42 Lima requesting flight level 230.
Roger, this time, flight level 230.
Flight level 230, JetMagic 42 Lima.
And 1013 passing flight level 74. Stop.
That's the same, and 20 above on the standby.
Dublin, good morning, JetMagic 42 Lima, view level 230. Direct Liffey.
JetMagic 42 Lima identified, maintain flight level 230, cleared to Liffey Mallard.
Liffey Mallard, JetMagic 42 Lima.
Liner 332, climb flight level 270, report passing flight level 220.
Ryanair 322, roger. Climb flight level 270, call through 220.
So it's the Liverpool UK NDB ILS DME runway 27 chart 11-2. It's effective the 17th of April. The MSA to start the approach, we can work on 3,500 and then 3,100 for the missed approach. Local frequency is 11.75, we'll put that active on both sides. Inbound course is 270, which has been set and cross-checked on both sides. Got a glide slope check at the locator of 1370.
And a 205, turn left heading 270.
And decision altitude is 277, runway elevation. 77 feet.
Magic 42 Lima, turn right 15 degrees.
Right 15 degrees, heading will be 060 degrees. JetMagic 40 Lima.
060 is engaged, and I'll just go half rose to remind myself I'm in heading. Yeah, we can expect to start the ILS at 2,000 feet. RVR required is 550. We've got that according to the ATIS. And we've got Pappy on the left, high intensity approach lighting, and the missed approach just takes us straight into 1500, and then a right turn back to the locator, back to 2,000 or as directed.
No contact.
Couple of approach, flown from the left hand side, flat 45 landing.
Clear control there.
And the speeds I've set mate for 16.5, flat 45. 5 knots added for approach speed. And I'll get you to call the ground in a sec, but we'll land probably to exit at Alpha 6.
So Alpha concentrate.
That's what you've got to concentrate on, yeah. So we can come off here, okay, at Alpha 6. They normally get you to go in uniform.
So it's Echo with the right turn onto uniform.
Yeah.
Right to Alpha.
Or maybe straight ahead into Victor.
Okay.
Or they can sometimes take you down to Whiskey.
Okay.
But if you call service air in where are we?
Liverpool. Liverpool.
And we can find out a stand, and then you'll know about which way to expect for taxi.
Okay.
Alright?
We'll pick them up now.
Well, what do we got? Just 150 miles? Yeah, you should get them with the Squelch out.
443 Lima, contact approach 121.1, bye-bye.
121, 443 Lima.
Okay, Ross, your ATC? Yep. I'll just be off for a sec. I'll put no questions there. Speed back.
JetMagic 42 Lima, cleared direct to Mallard, contact Manchester 128.05, bye-bye.
Direct. Mallard and Manchester 12805, JetMagic 42 Lima, bye.
Okay, direct Mallard's in the box, LNAV's engaged.
Delta 64, you're on nav now again, direct.
This is Manchester.
Your heading is pretty good, and reporting speed to approach 19052, good morning.
Delta 64, clear direct Mersey and 11952.
Ask him if we've got free speed this morning as well, Mark, when you spoke to him.
Manchester, good morning to you, it's JetMagic 42 Lima. We are just pressing the right hand turn inbound to Mallard, flight level 230, and requesting free speeds.
JetMagic 42 Lima, good morning. Direct to Limpo. Limpo issue clearance limit. I will advise you on the speed shortly. I'll call you for the descent also very shortly.
Thanks, cleared direct about Limpo, JetMagic 42 Lima.
Got direct Limpo. That D280R is obviously no good to us, mate.
No, it's really added a few miles.
There you go. Cheapers.
Okay, Ross, speed bugs.
Set for 16.5 tonnes.
And that was checked. The destination fuel is this approach we want 460 kilos for Manchester.
2.5 on the threshold.
Pressurization. That is set.
That's checked.
And the cabin signal was given.
Given.
As descent check.
42 Lima, no speed restrictions.
Thank you. No speed restrictions. JetMagic 40 Lima.
We can expect flight level 60 by Lispo.
Okay, copy level 60 by Lispo, JetMagic 40 Lima.
Okay,
that's copy. That's checked.
Yeah, flight level 110, AZ alarm, vertical speeds engaged, 500 initially. Can you just type in flight level 60 and Lispo for me?
Charter 131, resume on navigation, Mersey, descent flight level 70, level by Mersey.
And just give that a direct to for me.
Navigation Mersey, descent 70, level by Mersey.
Direct Limbo, there we go, 3.6.
131, contact Manchester radar 119.52.
11952, you're Charter 131.
JetMagic 42 Lima, contact Liverpool 119.85.
Liverpool 11985, JetMagic 42 Lima, Joe, bye.
Looks like we might get a smooth ride down through here, Mark.
Yeah.
Just get to know the lay of the land around here as well. And up ahead you'll see it's a good cue to see where the runway is.
Liverpool approach, very good morning to you, it's JetMagic 42 Lima, just passing level 100 and we are inbound to Liverpool with Mike.
Morning, JetMagic 42 Lima, descend altitude 4,000 feet, local connection 1016, leave Liverpool heading 090, redirect to ILS 27, number 1, right hand circuit.
Then 4,000 feet 1016 and leave Liverpool on the heading of 090 for right hand 27, JetMagic 42 Lima.
Ready 42 Lima.
Okay, heading 091 now, Mark.
That's check.
So just overhead Limpo. 4,000 feet ASL is armed on 1016 and approach checks, thanks.
Okay, approach checks, Ross. We have altimeters 1016.
Passing 9,300.
JetMagic 42 Lima, just for your planning, expect to be Wallasey 4,000 feet.
Wallasey 4,000 feet, JetMagic 40 Lima.
I don't think we've got Wallace.
Checks are done, approach checks are done.
Yeah, approach checks complete.
We've got spoken to service there, and ATIS we've got.
Yep.
Okay. Lisa's up front, Lisa's up front for the first two, she said.
The first two, yeah.
Thanks very much, dear. We'll see you on the ground.
Okay, cheers, bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, see this harbour entrance in here, the runway's just off, it's a bit hard to see, but
it's just on the edge of the water's edge.
Yeah, I can see the runway, but I don't know where to look.
JetMagic 42 Lima, turn right, heading 100.
Right, heading 100, JetMagic 42 Lima.
Heading 100 is set.
Let's check. Just getting a few little landmarks, isn't it, really?
Yeah. There's Liverpool Football Club down there.
Is that?
Straight down, yeah.
Anfield. Jeez, Ross, I tell you, I'm glad the first day's today and not a few days ago.
Yeah. And Kev had to fly. Flew with Kev on one of those days.
Did he? So where is it now?
Just try to beam us down, mate.
JetMagic
42 Lima. We're shortly passing a beam with the field. Field happens 2 knots, 6 miles.
Yeah. JetMagic 40 Lima, thanks. Beam through there.
Yeah. So if it's a day like today, they'll quite often ask you if you want a short approach mark.
Okay.
Obviously, don't get yourself, rushed if you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Obviously you can save a lot of time.
And flaps at night.
And don't be going too fast on the base leg here, because you'll just overshoot that localizer if they give you an abbreviated ILS.
Yeah.
JetMagic 42 Lima, turn right 240, close localizer, right report is starboard range 8 miles now.
Right, heading 240, and we'll call you localized establish next. JetMagic 40 Lima.
That's right, JetMagic 40 Lima, descend altitude 1,500 feet, QNH 1016.
Then 1,500 feet, 1016, JetMagic 40 Lima.
Range is 7.5 miles now.
Okay, 1,500 is set, and AZL's armed.
Let's check.
So you want to be doing about 180 in the turn, so you don't get a big overshoot on this. So he's put it straight onto the localizer there now.
Yeah. JetMagic 42 Lima is localized established.
JetMagic 42 Lima, descend on ILS number 1, contact the tower now 126.35. Good morning.
If you are clear to approach and 12635, JetMagic 42 Lima. Cheers, bye.
Victor box is ready for departure.
Copy, we Foxtrot, got your clearance to leave the zone at West Kirby VFR, not about 1,500 feet QNH.
Okay, thanks. Leave my West Kirby VFR, not about 1,500 feet on the QNH. Golf from your Fox.
AZL's coming.
Okay, Fox, that's correct. Still position. JetMagic 42 Lima, continue approach.
Continue approach, JetMagic 40 Lima.
Okay, gear down. Flaps 22.
Copy, I'm going to position you behind the Embraer now at 4.5 miles.
That's your landing. That goes with gear thought now.
And then position back onto the downwind.
I'd use it for a landing clearance, mate.
Copy, Foxtrot, you're clear to immediate takeoff.
Okay,
290 degrees.
capture set, go around altitude.
Clear to immediate takeoff, Romeo, Victor.
Mr. British altitude 2000 is set, and
set speed 126.
Laps at 22.
I'll just reset the pack.
Nice check.
And flaps 45.
Copy, Alpha, do you have the Embraer in sight now at 3 miles?
Go.
Cabin reports received.
The landing clearance is to go as well. 2 open items. So if you turn the nose landing light on with the landing clearance mark.
Yeah.
There's one just rolling off the runway.
JetMagic 42 Lima, clear to land. Surface wind is 290 degrees of prime.
Clear land, JetMagic 42 Lima.
Okay, autopilot's off.
Okay, that is received, and all part your damper is off. That's the final check's complete.
Thank you. I'll just centralise the heading boat. Visual contact landing. Balls open, you call, mate. Don't forget
no, we don't. There's no call anymore, Ross.
There's no call out for spoilers.
No.
That's ridiculous. Your controls.
My controls.
So exiting as briefed, okay?
Okay.
Your controls, my radios.
Controls.
JetMagic 42 Lima, vacate right at Echo, and then enter the apron at uniform, stand number 1.
Exit, enter the apron uniform, stand 1, JetMagic 42 Lima.
Okay, so as briefed there, Ross.
On the right.
Cheers. And let's clear the after landing checks.
AFM, Squawk 0260 and contact Liverpool approach 11985.
0260
Strobes off.
Those lights. And taxi light on.
Yeah. Entry 43 down.
So radar to standby.
And
Just keep it straight. Just trust his guidance, mate. Alright, now you can start your turn. I'll turn your taxi light off. Cheers.
Handling 86, proceed Kilo Zulu 17.
No, keep following. Oh, there you go. No, keep going, keep going. Now stop. Now you give them, no, not interested.
ignition. Fuel flow. Light up.
Yeah, it's only just starting to light up. I use the actual needle movement, mate, yeah.
Because I use it when the temperature starts moving up.
Yeah, it wasn't really moving at the temperature then, was it? Ignition out.
Okay. And idle check.
473 was...
Okay, clear start one. Clear one. Okay, Ross, ready, Ross?
Go ahead.
Below 210. N2.
Oil pressure.
Ignition.
Now, the next thing he's going to ask you to do is set your brakes, so you're going to have
Fuel
to keep
flow.
watching it. Yeah, just wait. Don't use your brakes yet.
Okay, set brake, please.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell him park brake.
Okay,
is
parking brake is set.
Scope and tape up.
Light up.
What to peak at? The ITT?
Oh, it was about 520, I didn't see exactly that.
565,
Was
mate,
it?
so you've got to keep your eye on that.
Yeah.
Alright, yep. Ignition was out.
Okay, there's two good starts there. You may disconnect. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time, have a good trip.
Check.
Checked, flaps.
9 set.
Checked. Departure transponder FMS. The departure is the Wallasey 2 Tango. Transponder code's 4431. And FMS is selected with no discontinuities.
And
so your Wallasey 2 Tango.
Yeah.
4431. Clears you to 4,000 feet. There's no discontinuities in the
Wallasey
FMS.
Tango 4431, 4,000
And
checked.
select FMS on your side as well. Flight.
Yeah, there we go. So it's going to be LNAV and takeoff.
Yeah, LNAV TO set to my side. You'd say LNAV TO set to my side, yeah. Briefing and review.
Briefing review as briefed.
No amendments.
No
yep.
amendments.
Check. Speed bug set 16.5 tonnes. 117, 123, 127, 154, and you should have 142 up on
That's
the
all
VFS.
checked.
Brake temperatures are checked. Cabin report is to go. I'll give you TCAS. I'll go fuel. The next frequency to expect is 11805 Manchester. No, 12805 I should say. I'll put that in there. 12805. What am I
Golf
doing?
Sierra Delta, downwind.
There we go.
Golf Sierra Delta, report ready
Alpha
for
1's
base
full
line.
length there.
Yep.
Report ready for base, Golf Sierra Delta. JetMagic 43 Lima's cleared for takeoff runway 27. Surface wind 290, 10 knots.
Clear for takeoff 27, JetMagic 43 Lima.
Just waiting for the girls.
Yeah, you keep going. It's not this one here, mate. It's the one after.
Yeah, I was just slowing down for the girls.
Yep.
I wasn't sure whether
Yep.
they haven't binged us yet.
Think about your hand, what you're going to do with your hand in actions on lineup. You know what you would do entering a runway, and what you do when you exit a runway.
Strobes and
Lights.
lights.
Yeah. And entering a runway, if all your taxi checks are complete, you'll give a sign as well.
We won't until we've actually received the.
No, you
Golf
can call
Sierra
the lineup.
Delta, ready for base.
Not dinged on them, no.
No.
Golf Sierra Delta, roger.
So you could say one open item on the taxi, lineup checks. You can say that,
and
right?
depart ahead of you.
So we're clear on finals, 27.
Okay, so we're cleared line up there, Roscoe.
And we're clear for
And if
takeoff too.
And take off.
Yep.
So if you continue with the line checks with the one item
Open, okay, so cabin signal is to go as well.
Is to go.
Radar to weather. ICAS.
Is checked.
There you go. Keep watching what you're doing.
Hello, cabin and galley secured.
That's fantastic.
Okay, cheers.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, so taxi checks, it's received, lineup checks, taxi checks are complete. There's your signal for lineup. TCAS is going on to Tara 1. Takeoff config.
Takeoff. Okay.
Fuel burn is noted. And takeoff clearance.
Was received.
Received. Lineup checks complete.
How far past usually Roscoe do for the lineup here? If we turn in?
Now. You got your strobes on for going on the runway?
No, strobes.
Jeez. Memory span of fucking 3 seconds.
We'll get there.
Okay, we're ready to go, mate.
Okay, so we're clear to take off.
Yep.
Roscoe, are you ready?
It's received, yep, we're ready to go.
Thrust set, check thrust.
Alt TO1 ATT CS is armed and the thrust is set. Get off the lights. 90 knots.
Checked.
V1. Rotate. Smooth rotation.
Gear up.
Engage
speed.
Just follow your flight directive, and then you've got a newly turn coming up to the right.
The surface wind 290 at 10 knots.
Clear to land, Golf Sierra Delta.
So you might
Autopilot on.
apply 1,500 feet.
Now, climb thrust.
Now.
JetMagic 43 Lima, report your level.
Passing 1,900 JetMagic 43 Lima. 43 Lima.
JetMagic 43 Lima, contact Manchester 128.05.
2805 JetMagic 43 Lima, correct.
Cheers.
Manchester Control, good morning, JetMagic 43 Lima to you, climbing flight level 4,000 off the Wallasey to Tango, passing 2,800 this time.
Okay, 43 Lima, good morning, climb flight level 60.
Flight level 60, JetMagic 43 Lima. That's the thing you want to get onto that straight away, mate.
Climb level 60.
Check.
Is set. What's that with the...
Yeah, because you're going to get that level off at 4,000 otherwise, you know, and you're normally light going out of Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
No, I had it back to 2,000, so it's reducing, but I wasn't sure whether... okay, Ross, flap 0.
Speed checks. Transitions at 5,000. Always keep your heading bug centered, Mark. So
JetMagic 43 Lima, fly a heading of 295 degrees.
for that very reason. 295 JetMagic 43 Lima.
That's correct, 43 Lima, climb now flight level 80.
Flight level 80 JetMagic 43 Lima.
Okay, flight level 8.
Flight 3, Whiskey
Zero
Echo,
set
British
and heading 295.
90 to Wallasey.
Yep, that's
Is
checked.
set.
There's transition.
Okay, 1013, flight level 54.
I don't have 5473 to Liverpool 27 at Liverpool.
Now,
0.
To Whiskey Echo.
I can't see that, mate. Set that standard. Okay, give us another check.
Okay, pass level 58. Now.
Plus 30 on the standby.
And just stand by one with the climb checks there, Roscoe.
Way up, mate.
Continental 21, turn right
It's
off
just
heading of
unnecessary,
300
you know.
degrees.
300 Continental 21 Heavy.
Now you can go back left onto 295, whatever it is.
295.
So just, there would have been a lot of bumps there for no reason.
JetMagic 43 Lima, climb flight level 120.
120 JetMagic 43 Lima.
Okay, level 120 is set. You cycle down smoke sign.
Yeah, I've done that, yeah.
Okay,
Runway
and
554, turn right heading 090.
climb checks when you go to
Heading 090, Rider 554.
0 set.
21, climbing your heading
That's
flight
check.
level 220.
Hazel's on.
220
Check, lights
Continental
on.
21 Heavy.
Yeah. And seatbelts.
45 minutes holding it for.
And cabin signal.
Cabin signal. Yeah, we can.
43 Lima, request descent.
JetMagic 43 Lima, Shannon, descend flight level 180, contact Shannon 124.7, bye-bye.
Down to 180, 124, 7 goodbye, JetMagic 43 Lima. Shannon Control, good morning, JetMagic 43 Lima for you, descending flight level 180, direct Cork.
JetMagic 43 Lima, Shannon, good day to you, identified. 129er Shannon, contact Shannon, approach now 121.4, bye-bye.
121.4, Delta 129 heavy, swan.
JetMagic 43 Lima, good day, identified 24 miles northeast, number 3 Victor Xylis, they may approach runway 35 right turn in. This is Delta QNH 1021 hectopascals.
Oh, copy, JetMagic 43 Lima.
Pascals, turn left heading 190.
And at 3,500 or 1021 and heading 190, JetMagic 43 Lima.
Okay, 3,500 feet, 1021 and left heading 190 is selected. It's checked. Got 10 minutes to go. This might be a bit short.
Oh yeah, no, you'll have 12.
Good 12 minutes.
Yeah. Nav 2's identified India Charlie November.
Lights coming on.
The city down there, Yarn. Oh, yep.
JetMagic 43 Lima, you're now closing right downwind runway 35 with 30 track miles to touchdown.
30 miles is good for us, JetMagic 43 Lima.
I'm just going to put a direct bat in there, Ross. I'm just going to slow it a little bit there, Ross. There's no point chasing out, chasing back in again.
Charlie Mike Tango, turn left heading at 060.
Left heading 060, Mike Tango.
I've actually just for the first time, Mark, looked in and saw that prison, you know, the prison that's on the island.
Yeah, we walked the dogs. The walk.
I can see my house.
What's the house like?
Good. Yeah, it's really good.
Charlie Mike Tango, turn left heading 020.
Left heading 020, Mike Tango.
You give notice there yet? You're going to wait?
JetMagic 43 Lima, traffic underneath, VFR not above 2,500 feet, you'll get in TCAS.
Yeah, we're going to want TCAS, JetMagic 43 Lima.
0 decent altitude, 2,500 feet, QNH 1021.
Turning right 270 degrees, 2,500, 1021, JetMagic 43 Lima.
Heading 270, 2,500 ASL is armed on 1021, object flaps 9.
Speed checks.
Charlie Mike Tango for right base, turn left heading 260.
Charlie extended center.
Left 260, Mike Tango.
And she blows.
JetMagic 43 Lima, turn right heading 320, clear direct, may approach runway 35, port established.
Turning right 320 degrees, Wilco, JetMagic 43 Lima. 320, mate.
Okay.
320.
320, is it?
Yep.
And we can arm the approach mode.
And low glide slope armed on nav 2.
Lock and glide slopes armed.
Who would have thought you'd get a daylight today in November in Ireland, huh?
Just on my first day, I'm glad someone's looking down on me.
That's gonna call.
Glide slope is on.
Yeah. And JetMagic 43 Lima fully established, localised established to 35.
JetMagic 43 Lima, surface wind 28007, contact tower 19.3.
Tower 993, see you on the way out, JetMagic 43 Lima. Cork Tower, good morning again, JetMagic 43 Lima, localised established 35.
JetMagic 43 Lima, good morning, clear to land on runway 35, surface wind is 280 degrees at 7.
Clear land 35, JetMagic 43 Lima.
Glide slopes captured and gear down. Flaps 22. To ASL to missed approach altitude and speed to VMFA.
Not asking for much, man. So you've got gear down, flaps 22, go around altitude 3000 set, speed VMFA 126 set, and you're clear to land.
Keep on.
Okay, over the top of the outer marker checks and compares, minimum of 660, go around altitude is 3000.
hear where the wind was on the ground there, Ross?
280 at 6. 280. No excuses.
Is there any excuse in the world today? Flaps 45.
Speed checks.
And 290 degrees at 7.
290 at 7.
200. 100.
A little bit flat that landing, mate. Otherwise, we don't say spools, right? Let it roll
should we
through.
Go through Charlie?
Oh no, go.
I can get off here if you want.
Yeah. 43 Lima, turn right, then left, Bravo, stand 3.
Right, left, stand 3, JetMagic 4 through limit.
Tower Mike Tango inbound for a full stop.
Tango, roger, that's number 1, continue.
Oh, Roscoe.
Well, there's 3 point
Continue,
landing,
Mike
mate, just a bit flat.
Wasn't that flat, was it? That's one of my specials.
Like an aircraft landing.
And afternoon checks, please.
Oh, very good.
Mike Tango, start to land 35 now, surface wind 290 degrees at 5.
Do you want the gust line?
Good
Yeah,
land
please.
35 Mike Tango.
Is that right?
Yep.
And hydraulic page.
That's confirmed. Radar standby.
Standby.
Ice protection's on auto. You say check to that.
And check to that.
No, just check's good. Right. Turn right. Turn right. Bit harder, mate. Turn harder. Start reducing the angle. Straight ahead now. It's cold out there, doesn't it? Just straight. Right. Just slow to your rate of turn down now, mate. Okay, straight. I'll turn the light off for you.
Cheers, thanks.
That's always blinds the guys. You know?
Yeah.
And stop. Do your flow.
Okay, Rossi, are you ready then?
I'm ready.
Okay, thrust set, jet thrust.
Alt Tier 1 ATT CS is armed. Thrust is set. knots. Checked. T1, rotate.
Gear up. Engage speed. Armed LNAV.
LNAV engaged.
JetMagic 804 Yankee, approach director 1199, good day.
109, good day, JetMagic 804 Yankee.
Activity again, please, Oscar.
Book departures, good morning, JetMagic 804 Yankee. Is in the right turn, directively climbing flight level 90, passing 4,500, squawking 2711.
JetMagic 804 Yankee, good day, radar identified, continue on track to Tivoli.
Continue Tivoli, JetMagic 804 Yankee. So we're still going pretty slow here, mate.
230 is armed. Just checked.
Golf Bravo Bravo Tango Hotel, Shannon. Bravo Tango Hotel, Shannon, do you read?
Set. That is checked. AP is off. And checked. And
India
altimeter
Charlie,
set
India
checked.
November, change to Galway now, 1225.
Context complete.
Bonjour. West Control, bonjour, JetMagic 804 Yankee with you, approaching flight level 370 Ganto.
JetMagic 804 Yankee, bonjour, identified, route direct to Pal.
Direct to Pal, JetMagic 804 Yankee.
Direct to Pal. Check. Facility.
Okay, now with your fuel planning, mate, roughly...
Radar, runner 927, flight level 340, requesting immediate descent, we're experiencing moderate turbulence at 340.
So, turbulence?
Immediately.
Moderate to severe.
Okay, Ryanair 9287, flight level 300, I'm available, 9287.
So you can hear him, he's got panic in his voice.
9287, continue down level 300. 300, runner 927. 133, 635, it's Ryanair 1215, right? 60maintain flight level 380.
Prog chart.
1060, bonjour, maintain flight level 380, direct to...
Marseille, bonjour, JetMagic 805 Yankee with you. 804 Yankee, I should say, with you, level 370, colon.
JetMagic 804 Yankee, bonjour. Direct to Bastia, Bravo Tango Alpha.
Direct to Bastia, JetMagic 804 Yankee.
Direct to Bastia.
Maya 558, descend to 2,500 feet. Clear the left approach on left.
Setting to down to 3,000 feet, and we're clear for the 15 approach, JetMagic 804 Yankee.
Kelly 691, descend to 4,000 feet. 4,000 feet, Kelly 691.
Let's extend it. So, Aroma. Approaching 1 to go. It's checked. I'll give him a call. There's capture. Check.
Yeah, I just waited for Lisa. She takes a bit of...
Oh, Lisa.
Sit down, go on. I can't let you too much. She's
Fantastic.
about to sit down, okay?
Brilliant. Cheers then.
Bye.
Okay, lock captured, glide slope is armed. Flaps 9.
Start seeing
Speed
through the
118
old
knots.
buildings over here now, Jan, out on the right hand side. There you go. At JetMagic
Hello.
8 to 04 Yankee, full established 15 ILS.
Thanks, Lynn. We'll see you later. Cheers, bye.
for Yankee, number 1, tower 120.5. Bye.
1205, ciao, JetMagic 804 Yankee.
Yeah, Charlie.
Yeah, we've got the altitude.
And Campino Tower, JetMagic 804 Yankee, established 15 ILS.
With the mind to use 13012.
Clear to land 15, JetMagic 804 Yankee.
Okay,
130 at 12.
so it's pretty much just got slight left to right.
Yeah. And you clear to land.
Okay, the final checks
Landing gear.
is down 3 greens.
Check flaps.
4-5 set.
Checked. Cover report.
Is received.
Received landing clearance.
Is received.
So I'll turn that off for you. And autopilot, your damper.
Is coming off.
Autopilot.
Finals checks are
Autopilot.
Black line. Glide there, Ross. Yep.
$200.
Speed. Still fast.
100.
Yeah, level off a bit lower, a bit higher, mate. That's it. Oh. Making more ass in class than that. Spoilers, right?
04 Yankee on the ground at 05. Take convenient to the right and contact ground 12175. Ciao.
Take to the right, 12175. Ciao, JetMagic 804 Yankee. Jeez, that was unbelievable, that landing, mate. And whether...
Okay, and vacating, these are coming off. It's coming on, and the strobes are going to come on. Yes. And after that, any checks, please, Ross.
Cappuccino ground, JetMagic 80, correction. Gembino ground, JetMagic 804 Yankees, clear of runway.
To the right and follow the yellow car for the parking. Ciao.
To the right, follow the car. Ciao, JetMagic 804 Yankee.
Uno Roger con la torre 25, buonasera.
Easy. It was not too bad, was it? Would you cut it here?
Yeah, I would. Oh, it's 14. Oh, fun. For you.
In the unlikely event of a sudden loss of cabin pressure, an individual oxygen mask will be lowered automatically in front of your face. Should this happen, pull the mask down fully, cover your mouth and nose, secure with the elastic band as we're now demonstrating, and breathe normally. Only when you have put on your own mask should you attend to children and other passengers.
flight back to Cork. Thank you very much for joining us. We're so looking forward to seeing you all in the very near future, and I wish you all a very pleasant upcoming week. Thank you.
Gentlemen, good evening and a warm welcome to Cork. Local time at present is approaching 6 p.m. For your own safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the forward door here has been opened. We would like to remind you to check all overhead bins and seat pockets in front of you for any of your personal belongings before leaving the aircraft. Please ensure your mobile phones remain switched off until I've opened the forward door. Should you require any further assistance,